A debate has many facets, perhaps no one right answer. Left, right and center. Conversations that get to the core of the debate.
Business news can sound incomprehensible, unnerving, unrelatable. But how does it impact you? We deconstruct complex business news and ideas by talking directly to the leaders who shape the economy. We are serious about business.
This show isn't just about news from the southern states. It's one that looks at the rest of India and the world from a diverse South India point of view. Because NDTV has always taken the southern view seriously.
The Southern View with Veera Raghav, only on NDTV 24x7.
Welcome to Serious Business on NDTV.
$1 has only secured 0.6 cents of private capital. That needs to fundamentally change.
By mid-century, India's economy would grow eightfold.
One topic.
When a family comes out of the poverty line, what would be the first asset class they would buy? It's gold.
One speaker.
It's the biggest attack on Jews since the Holocaust.
If you want to control inflation, you need to play the trade policy.
UPI, Aadhaar, all of that, where India is well ahead of the West.
5 trillion is a short-term goal. I would like to see India becoming a $30 trillion economy.
हर महीने 2.5 करोड़ हमारे देश में आंगनवाड़ी का हमारा सिस्टम होम विजिट करता है. मतलब साल का कम से कम 24 से 25 करोड़ होम विजिट्स हमारे मंत्रालय के माध्यम से होता है. हर आंगनवाड़ी बहन के पास एक स्मार्टफोन हो और स्मार्टफोन में एनालिटिक्स के साथ उनके पास एक ऐप हो, डिवाइस इनेबल्ड हो कि वो हर एक बेनिफिशियरी तक, लाभार्थी तक रिकॉर्ड सहित पहुंच सके.
आज के दिन में ऑलमोस्ट 10% आंगनवाड़ीज जो है ऑन बोर्ड.
Management system protocols enables is giving the Anganwadi workers the knowledge.
Since Anganwadi workers are frontline workers and are interacting with society on a day-to-day basis, I think this is going to be a game changer in that sense.
Often have you turned away from debates that descend into endless fights? We bring you a show where every question is answered, where every debate finds its resolution, where every story finds its conclusion, where opinions collide but facts prevail, where stories unfold with insights and trust. When the noise ends,
welcome back. The suspense over BJP Chief Ministers in the 3 states continues. Well, it's been more than 4 days, in fact, since the BJP had that emphatic victory in the 3 Hindi heartland states. And the most interesting, of course, is the desert state of Rajasthan. Well, amid the suspense over the Chief Minister, Vasundhara Raje, two-time Chief Minister and considered to be one of the front runners for the top job, arrived in the national capital. These are late-night visuals of Vasundhara Raje arriving in Delhi, and she is expected to meet the top leadership of the BJP today. She, as I said, is being seen as one of the key front runners. She's been a two-time Chief Minister, considered a pan-Rajasthan face, somebody who has the support of various MLAs as well. Over 30 MLAs is what reports say. That she is expected to meet the party leadership as well. Now, this, of course, after the BJP parliamentary party meet also happened today. Of course, that is not directly related to the huddle regarding the Chief Minister's choice in these 3 states, but it was discussed multiple times. In fact, multiple marathon meetings have happened in the national capital. In fact, what sources have told NDTV is that the BJP is actually mulling over fresh faces for all the 3 states. There are multiple factors, including caste factors and various camps that need to be accommodated as well. So the Chief Minister choice has to be one that requires a lot of brainstorming, which is why we are seeing this delay. And well, the other big story that we are tracking very closely in the national capital today, the BJP parliamentary party meet was held in which the Prime Minister received a rather rousing welcome. In fact, all the MPs of the BJP from the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha were present there. There you can see visuals of BJP President JP Nadda welcoming the Prime Minister. Now, this is the first parliamentary party meet of the BJP after the party won in the three heartland states. Now, what did the Prime Minister actually say? Well, the Prime Minister said that this victory in the Hindi heartland states is a collective effort of all workers. He talked about the Karyakartas of the BJP and how they were instrumental in bringing BJP back to power in states like Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh. The Prime Minister also said that the BJP has 58% record of repeating governments. In fact, he also urged members of parliament to tell people about government schemes. That has been a key focus of the BJP, to take its schemes to the last man on the street. In fact, projects like Viksit Bharat are aimed at taking the BJP's welfare schemes to the common folk. The Prime Minister also said that MPs must not get complacent after the victory in the three states, and he also laid down a vision to create developed India by 2047. That has been the key focus of the BJP. The Prime Minister also said, take the Vishwakarma Yojana to every home. Now, this is very significant because this is a part of the BJP's larger OBC outreach as far as the 2024 polls are concerned. The Vishwakarma Yojana was announced by the Prime Minister, remember, from the ramparts of the Red Fort on Independence Day. So the Prime Minister talking about welfare outreach and how welfareism, of course, is going to be a key political plank of the BJP as well. We'll take a quick break now. News continues on the other side.
And there's too much talking but very little being said. Too many voices but hardly any being heard. You turn to a show that puts you front and center. A show that headlines the stories of the people, by the people, for the people.
How often have you turned away from debates that descend into endless fights? We bring you a show where every question is answered, where every debate finds its resolution, where every story finds its conclusion, where opinions collide but facts prevail, where stories unfold with insights and trust. When the noise ends, the last word begins.
A debate has many facets, perhaps no one right answer. Left, right and center. Conversations that get to the core of the debate.
Business news can sound incomprehensible, unnerving, unrelatable. But how does it impact you? We deconstruct complex business news and ideas by talking directly to the leaders who shape the economy. We are serious about business.
This show isn't just about news from the southern states. It's one that looks at the rest of India and the world from a diverse South India point of view, because NDTV has always taken the southern view seriously.
The Southern View with Veera Raghav, only on NDTV 24x7.
Welcome to Serious Business on NDTV.
And a big focus on NDTV, the deluge in Chennai. In fact, 17 people have died in the past 5 days because of the massive floods there in the aftermath of Cyclone Migjom. In fact, no power has been there in parts of Chennai for almost 4 days. In fact, the latest is that 85% power has now been restored, but there's still waist-deep water in low-lying areas. What is really the impact of this? How are people in Chennai coping? Here's a report.
Chennai, a submerged city, 2 days after Cyclone Migjom triggered rains flooded the city. Aerial food drop captures the plight of those marooned in flooded, low-lying pockets. Without power for the third day, even as the core of the city goes back to normal. Rescue team on a boat ride into the posh Tansy colony at low-lying Velachery. People fleeing on boats to take shelter in their friends' or families' homes. Many wading through waist to neck-deep waters. Villas and apartments flooded. Vehicles submerged. Aruna, an expecting mother, manages to come to safety after a 2-day wait for a boat.
Nobody is there to help us. If somebody can help, they could go get the older people. Boats are very, very small. It's not safe. So request the government to give some bigger boat so that people out there can come out.
Right. Government is not arranging any arrangement is very poor.
Right.
Very poor.
Cyclone Migjom mayhem has claimed 8 lives so far. Authorities say around 400 boats have been deployed to rescue people and that they are attending to SOS calls in a systematic way. They assure restoration of power in less than 48 hours.
A little bit just over 24 hours. Certain areas the water is draining very fast. Certain areas where it is not being able to drain, our officers are also making assessment and we are going to be informing our feedback to our other departments which will be responsible for helping us drain this area.
Call it impact of climate change or heavy price being paid for encroaching water bodies or collapsing cities' infrastructure. For many, the nightmare continues for the third night in flooded homes without electricity, bringing back memories of the 2015 floods. But the big question, or any lessons being learned? At Chennai's Tansy Nagar in Velachery, with Suresh, Sam Daniel, Find TV.
So absolutely unprecedented scenes there in Chennai. But moving now to the other big story, well, in Rajasthan, the Karni Sena chief's murder has sent shockwaves. In fact, a day after they had called for a Bandh, the statewide Bandh, the Rajput groups have now agreed to call off their agitation, and they've also written to the governor, importantly, to recommend an NIA probe into the case. This is now blame game over this entire murder has also begun. In fact, the wife of the Karni Sena chief has in fact said in the FIR that Ashok Gehlot's government and the police did not give the Karni Sena chief a security cover despite inputs from the Punjab police and a threat on him as well. In fact, Gogamedi's funeral is expected today as well. My colleague Somu is now joining us live from Jaipur on the latest. सोमू, ये बताएं सबसे पहले तो कि ये एक राजनीतिक मुद्दा भी बन गया है क्योंकि गहलोत सरकार पर भी अब सवाल उठाए हैं उनकी पत्नी ने, ये कहते हुए कि उनको सिक्योरिटी कवर नहीं दिया गया पंजाब पुलिस के इनपुट्स के बावजूद भी। तो ये राजनीतिक तौर पे किस तरीके से आप देख रहे हैं, वहाँ पर गहलोत की तरफ से कोई, कांग्रेस की तरफ से कोई रिस्पॉन्स आया है कि नहीं, और उन्होंने FIR में क्या कहा है उस पर डिटेल्स दीजिए।
जी देखिए, अभी तक कांग्रेस की तरफ से इस पर कोई प्रतिक्रिया तो नहीं आई है, लेकिन FIR में साफ तौर पर ये कहा गया है कि मुख्यमंत्री अशोक गहलोत और DGP ने इनपुट के बावजूद सिक्योरिटी नहीं दी, तो इसकी क्या वजहें हैं, और इसी पर बात हो रही है। जाहिर तौर पे यह मुद्दा पूरी तरह से राजनीतिक रंग लेता जा रहा है। जहां एक और इस मुद्दे के जरिए अशोक गहलोत को घेरने की तैयारी की जा रही है, वहीं सोशल मीडिया एवं अन्य प्लेटफॉर्म पर वसुंधरा राजे को भी घेरने की कोशिश की जा रही है। वो इसलिए कि ऐसा कहा जा रहा है कि जब भी वसुंधरा राजे सरकार में आती हैं, और क्योंकि इस बार भी वसुंधरा राजे का नाम मुख्यमंत्री पद की रेस में है, उस वक्त राजपूत समुदाय का कोई बड़ा नेता, कोई बड़ा व्यक्ति मारा जाता है, और इस तरह की जो चर्चाएं हैं वो सोशल मीडिया पे काफ़ी तेज़ी से फैल रही हैं। तो एक ही मुद्दे को दो अलग अलग नेताओं के खिलाफ उपयोग में लाया जा रहा है। लेकिन इस वक्त स्थितियां यही है कि क्योंकि राजेंद्र राठौड़ भी वहां पहुंचे थे और तमाम नेता, राजेंद्र गुढ़ा भी पहुंचे थे धरना स्थल पर और भी कई नेता पहुंचे थे। उन नेताओं ने परिवार से बातचीत भी की और जाहिर है कि जब ऐसी घटनाएं होती हैं तो आरोप प्रत्यारोप का दौर भी शुरू होता है। भारतीय जनता पार्टी के तमाम बड़े नेताओं ने अशोक गहलोत सरकार पर इस बात को लेकर सवाल उठाए हैं कि पंजाब पुलिस से इनपुट के बावजूद उन्हें सुरक्षा क्यों नहीं प्रदान की गई, और सबका यही कहना है कि अगर सुरक्षा प्रदान की गई होती तो शायद आज हालात अलग होते।
जी सोमू, बहुत शुक्रिया तमाम जानकारी के लिए। सर, सोमू is reporting there this political blame game playing out in Rajasthan, and apart from that, now many questions on why security cover was not given to him also being raised. Well, moving now to news from Manipur. Well, Manipur has been a dry state for almost 32 years, but the liquor ban might be fully withdrawn in the state after the cabinet decision, and the cabinet had passed a resolution to legalize liquor in the state. However, a section of civil society social organizations have come together to oppose the cabinet's decision. In fact, in the meeting, the proposal was put up by the state finance department for legislation of production, manufacture, possession, export, import, transport, sale and consumption of liquor. So this is indeed a historic move, because after 30 years of being dry, Manipur to finally legalize liquor. And well, the big story that we are tracking today on NDTV, the swearing-in ceremony in Telangana. It's going to be quite a spectacle, because not just India Bloc members, but top brass of the Congress also, will be attending naturally the swearing-in ceremony there. An emphatic victory for the Congress. There you can see visuals of the Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge arriving for the swearing-in ceremony. Apart from him, of course, Rahul Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi will be attending the ceremony as well. In fact, we also just saw visuals of KC Venugopal, the Congress National General Secretary, also arriving for the swearing-in ceremony. Various India Bloc members have been invited as well, including Chief Minister M.K. Stalin. Remains to be seen whether he attends the ceremony or not. Also, TMC MP Derek O'Brien is likely to represent the TMC at the swearing-in ceremony. Of course, an important visual there as well, the fact that in the India Bloc members sort of supporting the Congress as it is now set to form the government in Telangana, the second southern state that the Congress is able to conquer after Karnataka. All right, so there you can see visuals of the Congress top brass arriving for the swearing-in ceremony. Many challenges, though, of course, also remain for the cabinet, because there is no face from Hyderabad. That is an interesting point being discussed as well. Uma Sudhir is now joining us live on the phone line. So, Uma, what all is expected? Who all are expected to attend this ceremony? Of course, the Congress top brass will be present there naturally, but who all from the India Alliance?
So it's going to be a big show, certainly, at the LB Stadium. I'm not sure of the names from the India Alliance. What we do know, of course, is that Sonia Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, all of them have already arrived, and we will expect the other AICC members, the AICC president as well. So they are showcasing this as the big success and the way to move forward as well. But more, interestingly, they have actually created three different dioceses. One of them in which the swearing-in ceremony will take place, in which the Chief Minister-elect and the 11 members of his cabinet to be inducted are going to be in that main dais. To the side will be the dais where the MLAs, the 63 MLAs are expected to be. All the MLAs have been given a seat there, and there's another one to the other side, to the right side, in which you have the other VIPs who are going to be present at this venue being called in. What we do understand is that they want to showcase this as something that, the Telangana pride per se, they want to showcase here to say that we are the ones who were not given the credit for Telangana, whereas this will be also a way to tell the people of Telangana that it is Sonia Gandhi who has in fact taken that move to give Telangana, and therefore this is obviously something which is also aimed at looking ahead at the Lok Sabha elections just coming up in about 4 months from now. And whatever the Congress does, it's going to be showcasing its strength in such a manner that it can move forward with more confidence and with more ground strength as well. Like you were mentioning, Hyderabad is an area where they have not done too well. So they would be inducting faces here. The senior leaders were telling me that it's not just a Muslim face. We would like a Yadav face as well. That's a very important community among the BC caste itself. So they could look at getting talent from elsewhere, but what we do understand is that the lone person from the CPI in the winning side, in the Congress alliance from Kottagudem, the left parties as well as the civil society organizations that have helped the Congress in this victory, they have said that they should not follow the PRS model of inducting people from other parties because that would make them lose the moral ground that they have. But I would think that politically, when decisions are being taken, those are not going to be the considerations, and it would be about strengthening their ground presence that they are wanting to do.
Right, Uma, thanks so much for joining us with all those details. Top leaders arriving for the swearing-in ceremony. We're building up to that. At about 1 p.m. is when Revanth Reddy, along with his ministers, will take the oath.
How often have you turned away from debates that descend into endless fights? We bring you a show where every question is answered, where every debate finds its resolution, where every story finds its conclusion, where opinions collide but facts prevail, where stories unfold with insights and trust. When the noise ends, the last word begins.
हर महीने 2.5 करोड़ हमारे देश में आंगनवाड़ी का हमारा सिस्टम होम विजिट करता है। मतलब साल का कम से कम 24 से 25 करोड़ होम विजिट्स हमारे मंत्रालय के माध्यम से होता है। हर आंगनवाड़ी बहन के पास एक स्मार्टफोन हो और स्मार्टफोन में एनालिटिक्स के साथ उनके पास एक ऐप हो, डिवाइस इनेबल्ड हो कि वो हर एक बेनिफिशियरी तक, लाभार्थी तक रिकॉर्ड सहित पहुंच सके।
आज के दिन में ऑलमोस्ट 10% आंगनवाड़ी जो है ऑन बोर्ड।
Management system protocols enables is giving the Angawadi workers the knowledge.
Since Anganwadi workers are frontline workers and are interacting with society on a day-to-day basis, I think this is going to be a game changer in that sense.
And there's too much talking but very little being said. Too many voices but hardly any being heard. You turn to a show that puts you front and center. A show that headlines the stories of the people, by the people, for the people.
How often have you turned away from debates that descend into endless fights? We bring you a show where every question is answered.
Hello and welcome back. Now, as per a latest report by S&P Global titled "China Slows, India Grows," India and not China will be Asia Pacific's growth engine. That is essentially what the report is saying. The report also mentions the deepening property sector woes and high debt levels in China. S&P Global also believes India will be the world's third largest economy by 2030. Now, to decode this study further, we have with us Pulkit Agarwal, Head of Content of India, and of course at S&P Global Commodity Insights. Thank you for joining us, Pulkit. To start with, take us what led to the analysis in the report titled "China Slows, India Grows" and the factors that have led to this conclusion. The report mentions the Chinese property sector is witnessing a massive slowdown.
Okay. See, in terms of Chinese property sector, and also because it's very important for commodities. So, China property sector accounts for quite a lot, right? I mean, Chinese property sector is, is a heavyweight industrial sector which drives a lot of economic activity, which drives global commodity demands and global commodity prices to some extent as well, right? As we know that China sort of had a crackdown on the property sector last year, and it continues, by the way, this year, all through this year. It sometimes intensifies, and then there's certain cool offs, and then it intensifies. It comes in waves and throws. So what we have seen happening there is that the overall sentiment of the market remains a bit challenged, and that has that impacts the overall sentiments for economy in general, but commodity market specifically as well, and the prospect of demand growth for all sorts of commodities, not just oil, but if you think about plastics, for durable goods consumption, if you think about steels and metals for all the construction material, I think there is the weakness in Chinese construction sector is a cloud on all sorts of commodity sectors. On the other hand, if you think about India is going through big economic growth phase, and not just in construction, by the way, right? So which means that general consumption is going up, as also the consumption by the property sector is also going up, right? So that's that in that aspect it's sort of inverse, that a lot of optimism in terms of demand and is there from India. So in general the outlook for Indian demand for commodities remain quite bolstered, and it is of course supported by the construction sector, but even beyond that, right, even general consumption is quite healthy right now in India.
All right. Now, Pulkit, there are also projections for higher oil prices going forward. Take us through those details.
Yeah. So see, talking about oil markets right now. So right now, what is happening is, oil market is well supplied right now, right? I mean, even before this OPEC plus cut that happened, few days back, S&P Global in its sort of projections on oil balances for the next year did project a surplus oil supplies for the first and second quarter, which is from January to June of 2024. After that, of course, there's a seasonal trend that happens, right? I mean, oil demand sort of goes up during the summer months of July, August, and September, when northern hemisphere of the world experiences summer, and the demand sort of goes up. So there's going to be some deficits. So right now the situation is that even after OPEC plus cuts, which by the way is about 2.2 million barrels per day, and which accounts for almost 0.7 to 0.8 million barrels per day of additional production cuts from what they were currently doing, right? So with these level of cuts, even there's going to be surplus supplies in the first quarter, definitely, second quarters maybe, and that will result into buildup of global inventories of oil as well. It's this sort of weakness of oil demand, rather, or rather the strength of oil supplies that keeps the prices to where they are right now. Of course, if you consider the current prices are like a playground for oil, so the playground for oil prices can set to be between 75 and maybe 95, right? Oil prices might go beyond that if there is a major shock event that happens, because oil prices are quite sensitive to those things. But overall, we believe that 80 to 85 is the sort of range where the oil prices should remain in the first half of next year, if nothing changes. In terms of second half of next year, of course, there's going to be some seasonal pickup of demand as well. So we do expect by the end of third quarter of next year, we might see oil prices inching from 80-85 levels towards 90 levels, and maybe even crossing that.
All right. So as per these projections, how will rising oil prices play out for India then? India, of course, being a key oil importer.
Yeah. See, India is a major import. I mean, India is largely dependent on imports of oil for its domestic needs. Of course, the current prices of oil, the current oil price environment has been okay for India. I mean, we have seen India do, being quite content with the prices of oil if it remains, let's say, below $80 a barrel. I think that's the point of comfort that in my general awareness is there for the Indian markets. Whenever the prices are jumpy, and if they reach towards $90 a barrel or even higher, I think that's the zone where Indian economy becomes a bit sensitive about oil. So of course any jump on oil prices beyond 85, towards 90 or even higher is sensitive for the Indian markets, and we have seen we have seen heightened awareness about this aspect as well.
All right. Lastly, India's bright prospects mentioned in the report as well, along with S&P saying India set to become the third largest economy by 2030. Take us through the factors you think will contribute most to this uptick for the Indian economy going forward.
That's a question maybe for one of our economists who do these sort of projections. I'm more of a energy and a commodity person, so I would stick to talking about commodities market. And in commodities market, India has a bright prospect. India's energy demand and commodities demand in general is growing. If you just talk about any fundamental sector like steel, India is probably the only market in the world which is looking to set up new steel capacities. India is the only market which is looking to put up new refineries because the demand is simply there, right? So I'm a hopeful for India because I cover the commodity market. From a commodity standpoint, India definitely is a story to look for. But more on the general economy front, maybe from some of our colleagues on the economic side of things.
Sure. So India definitely a story to watch out for. Thank you so much for this interaction.
Thank you. Thanks.
A debate has many facets. Perhaps no one right answer. Left, right, and center. Conversations that get to the core of the debate.
Business news can sound incomprehensible, unnerving, unrelatable. But how does it impact you? We deconstruct complex business news and ideas by talking directly to the leaders who shape the economy. We are serious about business.
This show isn't just about news from the southern states. It's one that looks at the rest of India and the world from a diverse South India point of view, because NDTV has always taken the southern view seriously.
The Southern View with Veera Raghav, only on NDTV 24/7.
Welcome to Serious Business on NDTV.
$1 has only secured 0.6 cents of private capital. That needs to fundamentally change.
By mid-century, India's economy will grow eightfold.
One topic.
When a family comes out of the poverty line, what would be the first asset class they would buy? It's gold.
One speaker.
It's the biggest attack on Jews since the Holocaust.
If you want to control inflation, you need to play the trade policy.
UPI, Aadhaar, all of that, where India is well ahead of the West.
5 trillion is a short-term goal. I would like to see India becoming a $30 trillion economy.
How often have you turned away from debates that descend into endless fights? We bring you a show where every question is answered, where every debate finds its resolution, where every story finds its conclusion, where opinions collide but facts prevail, where stories unfold with insights and trust. When the noise ends, the last word begins.
हर महीने 2.5 करोड़ हमारे देश में आंगनवाड़ी का हमारा सिस्टम होम विजिट करता है, मतलब साल का कम से कम 24 से 25 करोड़ होम विजिट्स हमारे मंत्रालय के माध्यम से होता है। हर आंगनवाड़ी बहन के पास एक स्मार्टफोन हो और स्मार्टफोन में एनालिटिक्स के साथ उनके पास एक
This is NDTV and you're watching NDTV 24/7.
Hello and welcome. It's 12 o'clock. You're watching NDTV. The big story we're tracking at this hour. Well, the Telangana swearing-in ceremony. Revanth Reddy is all set to take the throne as the Chief Minister of Telangana. 12 ministers will be sworn in with him. We'll get to the details of that, all the visuals from the ground. But first up, the headlines. Revanth Reddy is set to take oath as the Telangana Chief Minister. Sources tell NDTV Bhatti Vikramarka to be the Deputy Chief Minister. Sources also say 12 ministers will be taking the oath with Revanth Reddy. A big spectacle there with the Gandhis, Mallikarjun Kharge, DK Shivkumar all set to attend the swearing-in ceremony. And the big suspense over Chief Minister of Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh continues. The BJP holding marathon meetings in the national capital. Vasundhara Raje is in Delhi amid the suspense over Rajasthan Chief Minister. She is likely to meet the party's top leadership today. Central observers are also likely to be appointed today. And in Chennai, floods bring the city to its knees. The aftermath of Migjom, well, no power for the fourth straight day in Chennai. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh is set to visit the low-lying and affected areas of the city. The big flashpoint now in Rajasthan. NDTV accesses the FIR in the Karni Sena chief murder. Well, Gogamedi's wife mentions Chief Minister Gehlot in the FIR. Though the ex-Chief Minister has not been named as an accused in the FIR, the wife of the Karni Sena chief says security was not given despite a threat on him. And dry for 30 years, Manipur set to legalize liquor. Manipur to lift the liquor ban soon after a cabinet decision. Our lead story this afternoon, well, the swearing-in ceremony in Telangana. Revanth Reddy is set to take oath as the Chief Minister. In fact, sources have told NDTV that 12 ministers will be inducted to the cabinet today, along with Bhatti Vikramarka, who had also staked claim as a Chief Minister earlier, and there were all these reports of infighting within the Congress, whether it was Uttam Kumar Reddy or Bhatti Vikramarka. But now finally, he will be Deputy Chief Minister, is what sources have indicated to NDTV. And it's going to be a big spectacle because this is the Congress's second southern state. That the Congress has won, quite an emphatic victory there. In fact, the top leadership of the Congress, including Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi and the Congress chief Mallikarjun Kharge, all of them will be attending the swearing-in ceremony. There you can see visuals of these Congress leaders arriving for the oath-taking ceremony. In fact, this is also the Congress's bid to, in a sense, placate members of the India bloc. There were all these reports of differences within the alliance after the Congress's defeat in the Hindi heartland states. In fact, invites have been sent to former Chief Minister, I beg your pardon, KCR, also Tamil Nadu Chief Minister MK Stalin. Jagan Mohan Reddy has also been invited for the swearing-in ceremony. In fact, Mamata Banerjee was also invited, but it's likely that Derek O'Brien, Member of Parliament from the TMC, will be representing the party at the swearing-in ceremony. In fact, the latest that we're getting, that our colleague Uma Sudhir is reporting, is that Gaddam Prasad will be the speaker. So that's interesting there as well. A lot of caste dynamics at play. The Congress's bid to balance the caste arithmetic and also regional differences within Telangana as well. What does the cabinet look like? How are experts viewing the cabinet composition so far? Veera Raghav has more details on this.
Well, yes, that would be one aspect of it. Obviously, that's an important aspect in terms of how the Congress wants to take it across. In fact, the Congress party leadership sending out a clear message that state leaderships in states where it's dominant need to understand the importance of allies. And that was a message at that time to those like Kamal Nath and Ashok Gehlot in Rajasthan, the sense that there needs to be a sense of camaraderie within the alliance. Remember, after the Karnataka victory, in the Karnataka swearing in, it was a grand show of several allies coming in. So that will be something one needs to watch out for here, especially placating parties like the TMC would be extremely important. How the Shiv Sena reacts to this verdict will also be an important aspect as far as the INDIA alliance is concerned. But most importantly, also comments by leaders of the DMK, which seems to be putting the Congress on a spot, is a matter of concern, how the party is going to navigate those. But for the moment, all focus on Hyderabad. Revant Reddy, the champion who's led the Congress party to victory there, taking oath as office along with his deputy Bhatti Vikramarka, who, remember, has been an MLA since 2009 from the Madira constituency. Both Revant Reddy and Bhatti Vikramarka, of course, Revant Reddy younger, have been MLA several times, but running an administration will be a test of his abilities, being inclusive, taking the party forward together. As you talk about taking the India alliance together, I think the challenge in Hyderabad is to ensure that the party is in one force together with no room for friction. The opposition, the BRS, as well as the BJP in the state will be watching closely at how this cabinet and how the internal equations evolve. Party coming to power after 10 years in that state, Vedant. So a new guard in charge of it right now. That will be a critical test. Of course, for the moment, it's time for congratulations and celebrations to those you see on the picture there. Sonia Gandhi arriving there in Hyderabad, and Revant Reddy will be taking oath at 1:04 p.m. today.
So multiple interesting aspects as far as the cabinet is concerned. Well, what's more striking is that after decades, there's no representation from Hyderabad because the Congress did not win even one seat. As far as Hyderabad is concerned, this is a crucial territory, not just in terms of the optics, but also in terms of the fact that this is a crucial territory as far as revenue is concerned. Over 60% of revenue comes from Hyderabad. So what the Congress is now mulling over is having a representative from Hyderabad via the Legislative Council. So those are some challenges for the leadership, the new leadership, to sort of work out. The other important aspect is the caste dynamic and how the Congress has been able to sort of balance that as well. It's a tightrope walk. It's been a tightrope walk because multiple castes had to be accommodated in the cabinet. And as far as regional differences are concerned, that is also something that the Congress has looked at closely as far as this cabinet composition is concerned. In fact, as I was mentioning earlier, the latest that we're getting from our colleague Uma Sudhir, who's on the ground, is that Gaddam Prasad is set to be the speaker, the new speaker. So that is interesting as well. And as far as the mix is concerned, in the cabinet, there is a mix of the old guard as far as Congress loyalists are concerned, and former minister. There's one former minister as well. The rest of the cabinet largely comprises new faces, fresh faces. That has been the Congress's bid. In fact, what's also interesting is that Revant Reddy is set to work out of the Secretariat starting today. Immediately after taking oath as the Chief Minister, he will be going to the Secretariat at about 3 p.m. is what we're being told, if everything is on time. And looking at the larger national picture as well, you have the Congress inviting members of the India bloc, including Chief Minister M.K. Stalin. Also, Mamata Banerjee was invited. Uma Sudhir is now joining us live on the broadcast. So, Uma, interesting mix there as far as the cabinet is concerned. And now, the formal statement has also come out along the lines of what you were reporting since morning. So, for the viewers, outside Telangana, break it down for us. How significant is this, in terms of the mix of the cabinet? You have the old guard being represented, various castes being represented, internal, sort of regional differences being represented as well, though the Congress does not have anybody from Hyderabad. But, break it down for us, this mix as far as leaders in the cabinet are concerned.
Okay, this is a cabinet that certainly has a lot of the old guard, I must say, and also people who have newly come into the Congress. So with 25 Reddys in the winning list of 63, it's hardly likely that the Reddy community can be given short shrift. Even otherwise, they are a very politically dominant community, and that's why you have at least 4 Reddys, including the Chief Minister, Mr. Revanth Reddy is there. Then you have Komat Reddy, Venkat Reddy, Uttam Kumar Reddy, Ponguleti Srinivas Reddy. So these are 4 Reddys that you have. From the BC community, you have Ponnam Prabhakar and also Konda Sureka, woman representative, and also from the Padmashali community. Ponnam Subhagabdakar is from the God community. From the SC community, interestingly, you have not just Bhatti Vikramarka, who is going to be the Deputy Chief Minister. You also have Damodar Raj Narasimha. And now what we have also what I've shared with you from our sources is that the Speaker is going to be Gadam Prasad, who is also from a reserved constituency of Vikarabad, and he also happens to be from the SC community. Of course, we don't talk about any community with regard to any speakers or ministers inducted. The other important induction is one, Mr. Sridhar Babu from the Brahmin community. From the Velama community, you have Jupali Krishna Rao as well. So the mix that you are seeing is of every community getting its due representation, including the tribal community, from where you have a woman minister, Sitaka. She will be sworn in as minister. Her name is Dana Anusuya. The only representation that is perhaps missing, Vedant, is of a Muslim face in this cabinet. That's also because they have not been able to get any Muslim face who is a winner, and it is likely that Mohammad Shabir could be certainly made an MLC and perhaps a minister in the second round, because the size of this ministry can be up to 18. Right now we have 12 inductions happening, so there is space for 6 more to happen, and that's where perhaps we will see a Muslim face also being inducted. Azharuddin, who had contested from the Jubilee Hills, also could not, he got defeated by the BRS candidate Maganti Gopinath, and therefore the Congress is without a Hyderabad face and without a Muslim face, and that is something that they will try to add on to. Earlier you were asking me about the India partner alliance partners who may be representative here. As of now, what I can tell you is that Mr. M.K. Stalin unlikely to come with the kind of flood situation in Tamil Nadu. The second name that we do know of, you were mentioning Mamta Banerjee earlier. We do know that Mr. Derek O'Brien is said to be here. I've not seen him personally, but I'm being told by others that yes, he is coming. And the other representatives not yet known, but the Congress certainly making a big show of it with Sonia Gandhi could not come for the campaign itself. She had on the last day released a video message to the people of Telangana, appealing to them to vote for Telangana. But today, after a personal invitation from Revanth Reddy, who went to Delhi to invite the Gandhi family and all the AICC leaders, they have come here in a big number. And yes, he has invited the PCC chiefs, the district Congress chiefs, the Congress workers, all of them who have come in big numbers, and there is a lot of culture at show to welcome all these leaders into Telangana, and they are certainly packaging this as something to say that Congress is the real party which is going to help Telangana in its progress, because they believe that KCR's party has been unable to do that, and as Sonia Gandhi, as the mother of Telangana, as she is being projected in many of the publicity pamphlets of the Congress party, they would like that image to stick, so that they can go with that once again for parliament elections when it comes up 4 months from now. Back to you.
Also, interestingly, talk to us about Revanth Reddy. People would want to know who this man is, who is said to be the second Chief Minister of Telangana. Very few people know actually that he was a member of the ABVP as a student leader. Then he joined the TDP, if I'm not mistaken. So talk to us about Revanth Reddy and his his personality cult as it's now emerging in Telangana.
Okay, Revanth Reddy is 54 years old. In fact, he celebrated his birthday on the day the manifesto was released, on the Congress manifesto was released on the 8th of November. And he is someone who has come from a non-political family, in fact, an agricultural family. He is born with 7 brothers and a sister as well. And his family is from the Mehboob Nagar district of Andhra Pradesh. And he is a first-generation politician, someone who started his political career, in fact, in the BRS. Interestingly, the Telangana Rashtriya Samiti of KCR. That's the first formal political party that he joined. Yes, in his student days, he has been with the ABVP, the student wing of the RSS, and he in fact became the youngest president of what is called the Jubilee Hills Society, Housing Society. It is the address of the rich and famous in Hyderabad, and when he became its youngest president, he was quite proud of it, and at that time he had declared to his friends that one day I'm going to be Chief Minister of Telangana, and many of them thought it was idle boast, but some others who knew his personality and who knew his daring nature and someone who aimed high and managed to be successful in it, they believed that possibly he would one day make it. So he went to the BRS, the TRS of that time, but in 2004 when he wanted to contest from Kalvakurti, he was not able to get the seat, and in fact some other leaders in the party got it, and he got frustrated, disappointed. He went and contested as an independent ZPTC Zilla Parishad level election, and it's quite an interesting story how he managed to win that particular election by convincing all the others to withdraw, and the lone person who was still in the race, he was a very close confidant of then Chief Minister YSR, but what he did was get people of the same name to contest, about 9 other people of the same name to contest, and the confusion among the voters led to Revant Reddy's victory. So that perhaps tells us about the political acumen of this at that time a very young leader as well, now also only 54, so by political standards pretty young. After which he won an MLC election as an independent. That's where his talent in a sense was spotted by Chandrababu Naidu, who invited him to join the Telugu Desam, which was in the opposition. He's also married into political family. His wife is the niece of Jaipur Reddy, who used to be Union Minister, and someone very strongly representative of Telangana, but he did not choose to join the Congress. He says, he has told me personally that he believed that he had better political opportunity to showcase his talent as an opposition party leader. That's what he has been, opposition party leader so far, and for the first time in government, straight away becoming Chief Minister. Of course, we have a similar example in Mr. Narendra Modi, who did not hold any ministerial post and yet became the Chief Minister of Gujarat, and a Prime Minister, Rajiv Gandhi as well, who did not hold a minister post and became Prime Minister. Yes, and that's the test for Revant Reddy now, whether he will be able to deliver despite the fact that he has not had ministerial or administrative experience in that sense. Back to you.
Right, Oman, I remember your interview with him as well, where you said that you've asked the right question to the right person, and well, you've been proven right. He's set to take oath as the Chief Minister today, so all eyes on that. Telangana, the swearing-in ceremony at about 1 p.m. is what we're expecting. But moving now to the other big story, the big flashpoint in Rajasthan, and that is the murder of the Karni Sena chief. In fact, NDTV has accessed the FIR in this particular case as well. In fact, the wife of the Karni Sena chief has named Ashok Gehlot as well, saying that my husband wrote 3 letters to Gehlot for his security, but security was not provided despite inputs from the Punjab police as well. Though important to point out that Ashok Gehlot has not been named as an accused in the FIR. My senior colleague Harsha Kumari Singh is now joining us live on the broadcast. Harsha, okay, I'm being told I'm being joined by my colleague Somu on this. Okay, both of them are here, with us. Harsha, I'm going across to you first. Give us details of the FIR, because it's significant that the Karni Sena chief's wife has said that Gehlot did not provide security cover despite inputs from the Punjab police. So this is becoming into a political row as well.
Well, there are 2 aspects to this entire case. One of it is, of course, political, and the political aspect is that the Rajput groups are traditionally BJP voters, and the gangs, this inter-gang rivalry that seems to have led to this murder is leading to these caste and political fault lines to come to the fore on the ground in Rajasthan. The other aspect is that, yes, of course, he'd asked for security. He'd asked for security 3 times. There was an intelligence input also. There is somewhere a failure perhaps of the administration or the police, where when a leader from a certain community, if he's under threat, it can in fact again magnify these fault lines. So perhaps administratively that should have been taken into account, but also Gogamedi himself, what probably went against him was his own history sheet. Now from 1994 till 2016, there are these cases against Gogamedi. And these cases are actually of quite serious nature. So there are about 30 cases. The last one is in 2016 of extortion. and there are cases of murder, abduction, kidnapping, illegal arms, and extortion against Gogamedi. In that scenario, probably that weighed in the minds of the police personnel against giving him security and perhaps legitimizing him. So the metamorphosis of Gogamedi from someone who was involved in criminal activities. Remember, after 2016, there is no history sheet or no fresh case against him. So from 2016 till now, recently, he becomes this social crusader. So I think it has to be looked at in that context. The history of Gogamedi himself and the caste fault lines that are leading to these kind of allegations, where the DG and the former chief minister himself is being held culpable for not giving Gogamedi security.
Right, Harsha ma'am, thanks so much for joining us with that perspective there. My colleague Somu Anand is also with us. तो सोमू ये बताइए कि अभी ज़मीन पर क्या हालात हैं, क्योंकि जो तमाम राजपूत ग्रुप्स थे उन्होंने बंद की भी मांग करी थी, हालांकि अब उन्होंने वो मांग वापस ले ली है और गवर्नर को लिखा है कि एक NIA प्रोब इस पर होना चाहिए। तो अभी ज़मीनी हालात क्या है जहाँ तक कि राजपूत प्रोटेस्ट का सवाल है?
जी देखिए, कल शाम में मांगों पर सहमति बन गई थी और उसके बाद स्थिति तब बदली जब उनकी पत्नी ने कैमरे के सामने आकर कहा कि हम तब तक यहाँ से नहीं हटेंगे जब तक आरोपियों की गिरफ्तारी नहीं होती है। लेकिन उसके थोड़ी देर बाद ही, करीबन आधे घंटे बाद, वो वापस से आईं और उन्होंने कहा कि हमारी मांगों पर हमें आश्वासन मिला है और हम आज ये धरना समाप्त कर रहे हैं। उसके बाद ही पोस्टमार्टम की कार्रवाई हुई और अब जो उनका पार्थिव देह है वो जयपुर से उनके पैतृक आवास गोगामेडी के लिए निकल चुका है। सुबह ही वह निकला था, 2 बजे के आसपास उनकी अंतिम यात्रा जो है, उनका जो अंतिम संस्कार है वह होना है। फिलहाल इस वक्त प्रदेश के अलग अलग हिस्सों में बंद का ऐलान जरूर किया गया है, अलवर में बंद का ऐलान किया गया है, लेकिन कमोबेश अब शांति है और कल जो हालात बने थे, अब जयपुर और राज्य के अलग अलग हिस्सों में वो स्थितियां नहीं है, शांति बरकरार है। और उनके अंतिम संस्कार के बाद ये उम्मीद जताई जा रही है कि इस पूरे मामले में जो कल जो गतिविधि हुई थी उस पर कम से कम विराम जरूर लग जाएगा।
जी सोमू, बहुत शुक्रिया तमाम जानकारी के लिए। सो एज सोमू इज रिपोर्टिंग देयर that they've now written to the governor and the call for a band has been withdrawn. But moving now to the other big story, and it has to do with Rajasthan as well, because the suspense over who will be the chief minister of the heartland states of the BJP has swept. That continues. In fact, Vasundhara Raje is in the national capital as well amid that suspense, and she has sought time with JP Nadda and Home Minister Amit Shah as well, the senior leadership of the BJP. That meeting is likely today. She arrived in the national capital yesterday night, in fact, and Narendra Singh Tomar has also met the top leadership of the BJP. He has met Home Minister Amit Shah. So that is significant as well, because many factors are now being considered as far as a decision for the Rajasthan Chief Minister is concerned. In fact, the BJP parliamentary party meet was also held today in a different context, but this is a question that continues to loom large. Harsha Kumari Singh is back with us on the broadcast. So, Harsha ma'am, the optics of Vasundhara Raje being here in the national capital, very interesting. But what is really the purpose of Vasundhara Raje's visit? Because there are all these reports of Raje creating some sort of pressure on the High Command as well, but these are all in the realm of speculation. But what is the significance of it, and what are the factors being considered now going forward?
Well, I think really there are 2-3 factors that the BJP is looking at. They're definitely looking at Lok Sabha elections 2024. They're also probably looking at creating a fresh rung of leadership. But you have to factor in Vasundhara Raje. She is an extremely popular leader, and whoever, if it's not her, at least the person who comes into Rajasthan will have to need her blessing and cooperation. Remember, she does have the support of a lot of MLAs. A lot of them did go to meet her. Now, it can be interpreted as a show of strength, or it can be interpreted as a show of support. But, perhaps the BJP has realized that, she is someone you have to reckon with in the politics of Rajasthan. Somewhere, if you look at how the BJP has performed also, in areas like, say, Kota and Bundi, they haven't really done that well. I mean, they have lost a lot of seats, so it's not like they are, very, very comfortably placed for 2024, and perhaps they need to factor Vasundhara in. So obviously, some kind of exactly what the conversation will be with her in Delhi, one is not too sure. but definitely the fact that she's been called to Delhi and will meet senior party leaders means she cannot be completely sidelined or ignored.
Right, Harsha, thanks so much for joining us with all those details. So the Vasundhara factor is something that the BJP cannot ignore. This as marathon meetings underway here in the national capital. And speaking of meetings, well, the BJP also held its parliamentary party meet today after 3 state wins. And this was the first parliamentary party meet, in fact, after the BJP's emphatic victory in the heartland states. And the Prime Minister received a rather rousing welcome from all the MPs there, from the Rajya Sabha as well as the Lok Sabha. There you can see BJP President JP Nadda welcoming the Prime Minister. And what did the Prime Minister actually say? Well, he talked about how Karyakartas are extremely important as far as the party is concerned. And he also asked MPs not to get complacent and take the BJP's welfare schemes to the people. That was, of course, the main focus as far as the Prime Minister's address to those MPs was concerned. The Prime Minister also talked about the Vishwakarma Yojana and how that should also be taken to the people. This, of course, in the larger context of the BJP's welfare outreach and OBC outreach. Let's listen to what the Parliamentary Affairs Minister had to say.
Multiple times our strength has improved along with Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh, where we have won with a comfortable margin. At the same time, Bharatiya Janata Party has improved its strength in Mizoram and Telangana also in many folds. Telangana और छत्तीसगढ़ में भी, तेलंगाना और मिजोरम में भी हमारा बल वृद्धि हुआ, बहुत बड़ी मात्रा में वृद्धि हुआ है और 3 राज्यों में हमने सरकार हमारे लोगों ने चुन चुका है और सरकार बनाया जा रहा है.
All right, so that crucial parliamentary party meet there. This comes after the BJP's 3-state victory. And what it gives you a sense of is that the BJP indeed is an election machine. A well-oiled one at that, because the Prime Minister spoke about how the MPs must not get complacent, how we must prepare for the Lok Sabha elections, talking about the welfare outreach, talking about how welfare schemes must be taken to the people. This has been the BJP's focus, whether it is through the Viksit Bharat project or through his various political rallies. Welfareism is certainly going to be a crucial political plank going into 2024. But what did the Prime Minister actually say in that crucial meeting? Vasudha has more details on this.
Of course, Vedant, as the action of the Congress has shifted to Hyderabad, we saw the Gandhis arriving in Hyderabad, but there's a lot of action happening on the BJP front here. We saw a series of meetings that BJP President JP Nadda took yesterday. We also saw the Prime Minister meeting 10 out of the 12 MPs who resigned from Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh. There's a lot of discussion on who the CM face will be after these emphatic victories of the BJP. So today in the parliamentary meeting, what the Prime Minister is believed to have said is to take these victories forward, but while keeping the voters first, not forgetting about the Karyakarta. The Karyakarta comes, right at the top of the organization's pyramid. That's what he has said. He said that the Karyakarta is the strength and the foundation of the party. So, while the party uses this victory to reaches out to people, to different sections of the people, it's also important to mobilize the Karyakartas and prepare for 2024 and keep Viksit Bharat at the center of it. That is what he's believed to have told. Now, Viksit Bharat is something that he gave during the G20 presidency of India, where he clearly said that by 2047 he wants India to be a developed country. He wants all his party workers to work on that front. So when he was so there was a lot of celebration because there's the first such meeting happening after these emphatic victories that the party scored in the Hindi heartland. So clearly the Prime Minister does not want the party to become complacent. There are just about 5 to 6 months to go for 2024 elections. So he said that the ultimate decider of the politician's destiny is the voter, and you can't take people for granted. So clearly telling them not to be complacent and to keep working on the party's outreach and ensuring that people know about the centre scheme. That was what happened in the parliamentary meet today, is what I know from my sources.
All right, so it's day 4 of the winter session of Parliament. A lot of action expected. We'll keep a close watch on that. Quick break for now. News continues on the inside.
QSMTHE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity.
When there's too much much talking but very little being said. Too many voices but hardly any being heard. You turn to a show that puts you front and center. A show that headlines the stories of the people, by the people, for the people.
How often have you turned away from debates that descend into endless fights? We bring you a show where every question is answered, where every debate finds its resolution, where every story finds its conclusion, where opinions collide but facts prevail, where stories unfold with insights and trust. When the noise ends, the last word begins.
A debate has many facets, perhaps no one right answer. Left, right, and center. Conversations that get to the core of the debate.
Business news can sound incomprehensible, unnerving, unrelatable. But how does it impact you? We deconstruct complex business news and ideas by talking directly to the leaders who shape the economy. We are serious about business.
This show isn't just about news from the southern states. It's one that looks at the rest of India and the world from a diverse South India point of view. Because NDTV has always taken the southern view seriously.
The Southern View with Veera Raghav. Only on NDTV 24/7.
Welcome to Serious Business on NDTV.
$1 has only secured 0.6 cents of private capital. That needs to fundamentally change.
By mid-century, India's economy will grow eightfold.
One topic.
When a family comes out of the poverty line, what would be the first asset class they would buy? It's gold.
One speaker.
It's the biggest attack on Jews since the Holocaust.
If you want to control inflation, you need to play the trade policy.
UPI, Aadhaar, all of that, where India is well ahead of the West.
5 trillion is a short-term goal. I would like to see India becoming a $30 trillion economy.
How often have you turned away from debates that descend into endless fights? We bring you a show where every question is answered, where every debate finds its resolution, where every story finds its conclusion, where opinions collide but facts prevail, where stories unfold with insights and trust. When the noise ends, the last word begins.
हर महीने 2.5 करोड़ हमारे देश में आंगनवाड़ी का हमारा सिस्टम होम विजिट करता है। मतलब साल का कम से कम 24 से 25 करोड़ होम विजिट्स हमारे मंत्रालय के माध्यम से होता है। हर आंगनवाड़ी बहन के पास एक स्मार्टफोन हो और स्मार्टफोन में एनालिटिक्स के साथ उनके पास एक ऐप हो, डिवाइस इनेबल्ड हो कि वो हर एक बेनिफिशियरी तक, लाभार्थी तक रिकॉर्ड सहित पहुंच सके।
आज के दिन में ऑलमोस्ट 10% आंगनवाड़ी जो है ऑन बोर्ड।
Management system protocols enables is giving the Anganwadi workers the knowledge.
Since Anganwadi workers are frontline workers and are interacting with society on a day-to-day basis, I think this is going to be a game changer in that sense.
And there's too much talking but very little being said. Too many voices but hardly any being heard. You turn to a show that puts you front and center. A show that headlines the stories of the people, by the people, for the people.
How often have you turned away from debates that descend into endless fights? We bring you a show where every question is answered, where every debate finds its
Welcome back. The big story we are tracking on NDTV at this hour, the swearing-in ceremony in Telangana. Revanth Reddy is all set to take oath as the Chief Minister, the second Chief Minister of this young state in Telangana, and 12 ministers will be taking oath with him. In fact, visuals coming in from Telangana, the build-up to the ceremony. You have the top brass of the Congress, including the Gandhis. Both Sonia Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi, also Rahul Gandhi will be attending that ceremony. Apart from that, you also have, the other chief ministers that have been invited. In fact, invites have been sent to Chief Minister KCR, former Chief Minister KCR, also Chief Minister MK Stalin, Jagan Mohan Reddy and Mamta Banerjee. Remains to be seen how many of them actually turn up for the swearing-in ceremony. What we're being told is that Derek O'Brien, TMC MP, will actually be representing his party at the swearing-in ceremony. In fact, the latest that we're getting is that Gadam Prasad will actually be the speaker as far as the new government is concerned. So that's interesting as well. Many factors have been considered as far as the cabinet composition is concerned. You have the caste factor that has been, a bit of a tough balancing act for the Congress, balancing all castes and communities, ensuring adequate representation for them all. That has been a major concern. And also regional differences. Those also have had to be accommodated as far as this cabinet is concerned. A mix of young and old. There is a lot of representation as far as the Congress's old guard is concerned. You have Congress loyalists, as part of the cabinet who will be taking oath today. Also, a former minister in the cabinet. But by and large, there are young faces. In fact, Revanth Reddy himself, though at 54 by standards of Indian politics, is considered a young politician as far as Telangana is concerned. A new leader, an emerging face, an emerging personality cult, so to speak, as far as Telangana is concerned. And also interestingly, looking at the larger picture as well, this is the Congress's bid to placate India bloc members as well. Several India bloc leaders have expressed their displeasure after the Congress's defeat in the Hindi heartland states, which is why the Congress has in fact reached out to a lot of these leaders. In fact, interestingly, there you can see DK Shivkumar, the Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka, also Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, arriving there in Telangana for the swearing-in ceremony. Interesting optics there. Telangana pride is very much at the center of it all, with the Congress, in a sense, trying to project that Sonia Gandhi had a very crucial role to play as far as the formation of Telangana is concerned. So all those optics at play as well. In fact, Bhatti Vikramarka, he will be taking oath as a Deputy Chief Minister. Now remember, two tall leaders as far as Telangana is concerned, apart from Revanth Reddy, both Bhatti Vikramarka and also Uttam Reddy, both of whom were being considered front runners as far as the Chief Minister's race is concerned. They will be taking oath. Bhatti Vikramarka as the Deputy Chief Minister. The Congress High Command was able to placate them. This has there were multiple meetings with the High Command as well. Revanth Reddy was here in the national capital to meet the Gandhis, to meet the Congress's High Command. So a lot has actually gone into deciding the cabinet composition. We will keep a close watch on all the live visuals coming in from Telangana. But Veera Raghav shares with us some perspective as to what actually went into deciding various ministers as far as the cabinet is concerned, and what is the larger national picture and the Congress's bid to placate India bloc members as well. Listen in.
Well, yes, that would be one aspect of it. Obviously, that's an important aspect in terms of how the Congress wants to take it across. In fact, the Congress party leadership sending out a clear message that state leaderships in states where it's dominant need to understand the importance of allies. And that was a message at that time to those like Kamal Nath and Ashok Gehlot in Rajasthan, the sense that there needs to be a sense of camaraderie within the alliance. Remember, after the Karnataka victory, in the Karnataka swearing in, it was a grand show of several allies coming in. So that will be something one needs to watch out for here, especially placating parties like the TMC would be extremely important. How the Shiv Sena reacts to this verdict will also be an important aspect as far as the INDIA alliance is concerned. Also, comments by leaders of the DMK, which seems to be putting the Congress on a spot, is a matter of concern, how the party is going to navigate those. But for the moment, all focus on Hyderabad. Revant Reddy, the champion who's led the Congress party to victory there, taking oath as office along with his deputy Batti Vikramarka, who remember has been an MLA since 2009 from the Madira constituency. Both Revant Reddy and Batti Vikramarka, of course, Revant Reddy younger, have been MLAs several times, but running an administration will be a test of his abilities, being inclusive, taking the party forward together. As you talk about taking the India alliance together, I think the challenge in Hyderabad is to ensure that the party is in one force together with no room for friction. The opposition, the BRS, as well as the BJP in the state will be watching closely at how this cabinet and how the internal equations evolve. Party coming to power after 10 years in that state, Vedant. So a new guard in charge of it right now. That will be a critical test. Of course, for the moment, it's time for congratulations and celebrations to those you see on the picture there. Sonia Gandhi arriving there in Hyderabad, and Revant Reddy will be taking oath at 1:04 p.m. today.
All right, Uma Sudhir is now joining us live on the broadcast. So, Uma, what is the significance of this 1:04? Of course, we'll get to the politics of it in a bit, but this oath taking that will happen at 1:04, is there some astrological significance to this? Because we see, of course, in India, a lot of leaders very paranoid about that as well.
Revant Reddy also quite religious, I would think, because I remember when we went to his residence, we saw all those, homam places where they had performed the religious kind of rituals that were performed for Kartik Purnima and so on. And even if you watch Revant Reddy, he'll be wearing so many of those threads which are tied around the wrist as to keep away the evil forces and also to attract the positive forces. And that seems to have worked for him, if not anything else. And he is going to be sworn in Chief Minister in a short while from now. The earlier Muhurat that was set was actually 10:28 a.m. today, but because there was this arrival of VVIP guests from Delhi and elsewhere, that's the reason why they had postponed it to 1:04 p.m. Because they wanted to ensure that all the protocols and all the security measures happened very smoothly, and that's the reason why it was postponed. In fact, just about 24 hours ago is when the postponement happened from 10:28 a.m. to 1:04 p.m. Otherwise, if there had not been voices within the Congress which had actually objected to his elevation outright, he would have even taken oath on Monday evening. Of course, that would have also been a Shubh Muhurat, is what his friends had told us at that point in time. I must point out, 10 years is what we are giving, from 94 to 2004, 2004 to 2014, and 2014 to 2023. Of course, that became 23 because, KCR had advanced elections in 2018 instead of having them in 2019. But yes, Revant Reddy to take oath in a short while from now, and what we understand is 10 others going to be taking oath along with him. There will be representation of 4 Reddys, 2 from the SC community, 1 from the ST community, 2 BCs, 2 from the backward caste as well, and you will also have 1 from the Velama caste and 1 from Brahmin caste and 1 from the Kamma caste as well. So that completes it. But very prominently lacking is the usual face of a Muslim and somebody who can also geographically represent the Hyderabad region. That's something that's lacking. This morning itself, Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi had arrived at the airport, and they were taken, escorted, welcomed by the Chief Minister-elect, Mr. Revant Reddy, and he had in fact escorted them to Taj Krishna Hotel. From where they are now on their way to the LB Stadium, which is only about 3 to 4 kilometers away, less than that. So already a lineup of all the VIPs here. What we understand is that, of course, the left parties, we can have a representation from the left party leaders also, because CPI is represented in this Congress alliance that went to polls. 1 seat was given to them and they managed to win it. So 100% success for the CPI here. And I must point out that we are awaiting also the arrival of the governor, which will perhaps happen after the arrival of the other guests at the venue itself. The big amounts of public who have in fact gathered here, because Revant Reddy had written an open letter inviting everyone to come in, because he said that unlike the earlier Sarkar, ours is a Prajala Sarkar, and therefore we would like people to come in big numbers. They are now wondering if they will get an entry into the stadium, because huge numbers of Congress Congress workers have all gathered there. Of course, the DCC presidents and others. Whether there will be representation from the India Alliance partners, that not very visible yet. Yes, there could be, there is a Derek O'Brien from the TMC, but otherwise I've not spotted any leaders from there as of now. But Congress certainly wanting to make a show of this swearing-in ceremony at the LB Stadium with all those grand arrangements made at the LB Stadium. There will be cultural artists as well who will perform to welcome all the guests into the stadium. This very much reminiscent of the swearing-in ceremony of Dr. Y.S. Rajshekar Reddy that happened in 2004, in the May of 2004. And at that time, the first file that he had signed was in fact of free power to farmers. And that was a big success, and that was one of the big reasons why the Congress had come to power. And now once again, the 6 guarantees of the Congress is what we are talking about, and possibly Revanth Reddy could sign that first file on fulfilling the promises now that he has come into government. Whether it will be a staggered kind of there seems to be a buzz that is happening among the audience itself. I wonder whether it's because of the music playing out, because it has now become almost like a popular jingle, and everyone starts dancing to it because they have heard it at all the campaign meetings, and it comes up whenever Revanth Reddy is kind of entering the campaign arena, or when the road shows are happening. Those songs start playing out, and people start almost unconsciously start dancing to the tunes, because all of them invariably, whichever the party, they tend to be done in a manner that are very appealing, almost like a Bollywood or a Tollywood kind of a music setting. Back to you.
Right, man. Also, looking at the composition of the cabinet, as you said, the caste factor is something that was considered, but also, for our viewers outside of Telangana, talk to us about the factionalism, so to speak, within the Congress in Telangana, because you have tall leaders like Uttam Kumar Reddy and also Bhatti Vikramarka, who will be taking oath as a Deputy Chief Minister. How was the Congress finally able to placate these factions or these leaders who are very much seen as front runners as far as the top job in Telangana is concerned?
So it's very much like a clash between the old guard and the new guard. Revanth Reddy may be new to the party. He only came into the party in 2017. He told the Telugu Desam that if he stays in Telugu Desam in Telangana, he does not see for himself a good political future, and therefore opted to join the Congress. And in fact, he had told us at one point that he was even given an invitation by the BJP to come and join their party, but he didn't do that. What I must point out here is that whether it's an Uttam Kumar Reddy, Bhatti Vikramarka, and the rest of the people who are now going to be, taking the oath to become ministers in Revanth Reddy's cabinet, none of them is possibly a kind of leader who is going to rebel or going to split the party. The point that they wanted to make was that they were very senior in the party, they were loyal to the party even during its bad times, during its lean times, and that they had politically delivered for the party in terms of the number of MLAs that they could give within their own parliamentary constituency or their own region. But you must juxtapose it against what Revanth Reddy has done. One, after taking over as the PCC chief, the kind of momentum he gave to the party, the kind of spirited and very aggressive campaign that he carried out, somehow brought back the limelight onto the Congress. And it did happen coincidentally that at the same time the graph of the BJP in Telangana seemed to be going down, and that's what he capitalized on and took on that space. I must point out that Revanth Reddy is someone who in 2014 publicly declared that his one-point agenda in life is going to be the downfall or dethroning of KCR. This he did when he walked out of Cherlapalli jail after spending a month inside Cherlapalli jail. He had been allegedly or reportedly caught on camera offering a bribe on behalf of Mr. Chandrababu Naidu. That's what the case says, that he had offered money to a nominated MLA in order to vote in favor of a particular particular candidate, Mr. Vem Narendra, and he had gone to jail for that, and he blamed KCR for that. So he used something that was a humiliation, a public humiliation of going to jail as an opportunity to pit himself against the tallest leader of Telangana, and in that way increase his profile as well. It was in that interim period that in fact his only daughter Naimisha had got engaged, and he had to get actually a 12-hour bail from the jail in order to be able to attend the engagement ceremony, and that personally hurt as well. And I remember he had tears in his eyes when he said that this is humiliation that I'm going through and I'm going to avenge this, and he seemed to have almost systematically worked through and come to this point. What we also understand is that even before the voting happened on 30th of November, what we are told by Congress sources is that Rahul Gandhi had said that Revanth Reddy would be the chief minister once the Congress comes to power in Telangana. So that promise had been made, and the kind of a vibe that he enjoyed with a Priyanka Gandhi or a Rahul Gandhi was obvious in the public meetings that they were attending together. Even the last meeting at Malkajgiri, where they did a roadshow together, both Rahul Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi, along with Revanth Reddy, they were doing selfies together, and those selfies also went viral. You would remember that other video that went viral where Revanth Reddy was saying bye to the crowd there, and Rahul Gandhi comes in and shouts into the mic, it's bye-bye KCR, not bye-bye to the people of Telangana, and that video had gone viral as well. So he does seem to enjoy the confidence of the Congress leadership, and he has brought that energy to it, and therefore that's something that the senior leaders of the party have also accepted. But some criticism was there, saying that all the party campaigns of the leadership like Priyanka or Rahul Gandhi happened in areas where Revanth Reddy was working, and therefore they were accompanying only Revanth Reddy, and he was seen with them, and therefore he's being seen as a logical choice for CM, which need not be. But the leadership was certainly not convinced, and they felt that it is Revanth Reddy who needs to be the face of the party during the campaign and the face of the party now that the Congress has won the election. So as far as Bhatti Vikramarka or Uttam Kumar Reddy or Sridhar Babu, who had all gone to Delhi, they would certainly, they have told us in fact that they would fall in line, that they are going to be working in the cabinet along with Revanth Reddy. They had to make their point, which they did, and now they would work unitedly because they do have challenges ahead, because right after this, within 4 months, they have the parliament elections, and the Congress should be seen fulfilling at least some of those promises seriously, which they had made to the people of Telangana, and that will give them more political equity when they go in for the elections 4 months from now. Back to you, Vivek.
Right, very interesting there. And we're speaking of the campaign, and Sonia Gandhi, I remember, also released a video, in the midst of the campaign, along the lines of the video that she had released during the Karnataka elections. But Veera, coming on this point of Telangana pride, because how the Congress is also sort of packaging it, as Uma was pointing out earlier as well, is to show that Sonia Gandhi's contribution to the formation of Telangana, or the Congress's contribution rather to the formation of Telangana, is something that cannot be ignored. How do you look at that point, and how do you look at how the Congress is making out this swearing in to be a sort of a message larger than just the sort of the induction of the cabinet?
Honestly, it's a decade late, right? 2014 is when the Congress tried to portray that card, and Azuma would also agree. There was a sense in 2014, after the formation of Telangana, that the Congress would take advantage of that. There were those in the party who believed that K. Chandrasekhar Rao was not the one who had the edge after that. But 2014 election results proved everyone wrong. In fact, let's not forget that there was a time when K. Chandrasekhar Rao was in talks with the Congress to merge his party, to become one. These are all public facts that, once they announced the formation of Telangana, he would unite his forces with the Congress. So the Congress leadership had argued several times that it was at great risk, and despite several or severe opposition from the Andhra side. And remember, the Congress was traditionally dominant on the Andhra side. The Telangana side was possibly the weaker link for the Congress. Even at its peak in 2009, the party owned only 50 of the 119 seats. Despite that, it was formed. Now, of course, not wanting to concede that space, a decade late, trying to reiterate that. But I think this election was less about pride, and maybe we can throw that across to Uma, more about grassroots realities. I think 10 years down the line, KCR was established as the champion of that movement. That's a different story. This election was more about local anti-incumbency. This is not about emotion. It's about delivery of welfare schemes, taking the caste balance across and showing a sense of unity that the Congress would need to do as it heads into the 2024 elections. That would be the more crucial focus in terms of delivery of promises. And as Uma rightly pointed out, there is no representation in the Hyderabad area, from the Hyderabad area, not just in the cabinet, but in the assembly itself for the Congress party. How are they going to try and work that out? And in terms of addressing the rural discontent, which actually led the Congress, handed the Congress this fascinating victory in Telangana. How they're going to address that experience, showing a sign of unity, taking the caste balance across, that would be the focus ahead of 2024 for the Congress party.
Absolutely. And if, Uma, you're with us, would you like to take that and sort of build on that point that Veera was also making, that, this was less about emotion. This campaign was more about delivery of welfare schemes and also sort of Revanth Reddy leading it from the front. Would you tend to agree?
See, Sonia Gandhi does have a lot of goodwill among the people of Telangana. It's a different matter that in 2014 as well as in 2018, the Congress was unable to exploit that. But it is very obvious when you travel through rural Telangana as well, and even in urban Telangana, even a KCR and a KT Ramarao have credited Sonia Gandhi with giving that push so that Telangana state could be formed. It is politically, Sonia Gandhi did take a risk. They do know that they would suffer in Andhra Pradesh, and that's what they have been telling the people of Telangana also, that despite the fact that they knew that in the area where they are otherwise strong, the rest of the erstwhile Andhra Pradesh other than Telangana, she still went ahead because she had given a word to the people of Telangana, and that is something, that is a messaging that has gone across to the people of Telangana. We can say this is a third election after Telangana was announced. Of course, the first election in 2014 happened before the formal division, but that emotion has stayed with the people of Telangana, and KCR had been able to capitalize on that emotion very well and take for himself the entire credit in a sense for the formation of Telangana, something which all Congress loyalists have certainly been worried about not do. Even as we are talking, in fact, the convoy of vehicles with the Chief Minister-elect and the leaders of the from Delhi of the Congress all coming into the stadium. In fact, we can come back and stay with those visuals for now and then come back after a short break.
All right, Uma and Veera.
I think, Vedant, also the question that needs to be raised is who are the India allies who are present, because this was a quickly called in swearing-in ceremony. Remember, the southern might of the Congress also needs to be reiterated for the party. You will have a lot of leaders. It will be interesting to keep a focus on all those questions as those cavalcades drive into the stadium for the swearing-in of Revanth Reddy.
Absolutely, Uma and Veera, do stay on with us. The most credible voices here on NDTV as we count down to that swearing-in ceremony. Short break now. We'll return at the top of the hour.
A lot of people call us CSR. For us, actually, it's a labor of love, or rather labor and love. And it's something that we're doing on a very consistent 360-degree basis because of the sewing machine business.
A decade of dedication.
A debate has many facets, perhaps no one right answer. Left, right, and center. Conversations that get to the core of the debate.
Business news can sound incomprehensible, unnerving, unrelatable. But how does it impact you? We deconstruct complex business news and ideas by talking directly to the leaders who shape the economy. We are serious about business.
This show isn't just about news from the southern states. It's one that looks at the rest of India and the world from a diverse South India point of view, because NDTV has always taken the southern view seriously.
The Southern View with Veera Raghav, only on NDTV 24/7.
Welcome to Serious Business on
$1 has only secured 0.6 sense of private capital. That needs to fundamentally change.
By mid-century, India's economy will grow eightfold.
One topic.
When a family comes out of the poverty line, what would be the first asset class they would buy? It's gold.
One speaker.
It's the biggest attack on Jews since the Holocaust.
If you want to control inflation, you need to play the trade policy.
UPI, Aadhaar, all of that, where India is well ahead of the West.
5 trillion is a short-term goal. I would like to see India becoming a $30 trillion economy.
How often have you turned away from debates that descend into endless fights? We bring you a show where every question is answered, where every debate finds its resolution, where every story finds its conclusion, where opinions collide but facts prevail, where stories unfold with insights and trust. When the noise ends, the last word begins.
हर महीने 2.5 करोड़ हमारे देश में आंगनवाड़ी का हमारा सिस्टम होम विजिट करता है। मतलब साल का कम से कम 24 से 25 करोड़ होम विजिट्स हमारे मंत्रालय के माध्यम से होता है। हर आंगनवाड़ी बहन के पास एक स्मार्टफोन हो और स्मार्टफोन में एनालिटिक्स के साथ उनके पास एक ऐप हो, डिवाइस इनेबल्ड हो कि वो हर एक बेनिफिशियरी तक, लाभार्थी तक रिकॉर्ड सहित पहुंच सके।
आज के दिन में ऑलमोस्ट 10% आंगनवाड़ी जो है ऑन बोर्ड।
Management system protocols enables is giving the Angawadi workers the knowledge.
This is NDTV, and you're watching NDTV 24x7.
Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV. I'm Vedant Agarwal. The big story we are tracking at this hour, well, we're counting down to the swearing-in ceremony in Telangana. Revanth Reddy is set to take oath as the Chief Minister, the second Chief Minister of this young state. We'll decode all the aspects for you. I'm being joined by Uma Sudhir, who's with us from the swearing-in ceremony venue, and also Veera Raghav is with us to decode all the aspects for us, including the larger national picture. But first up, the headlines. Telangana Chief Minister and Ministers swearing in shortly. Chief Minister Revanth Reddy and Ministers to take oath. All eyes on Telangana. The big political flashpoint in Telangana, the murder of the Karni Sena chief. NDTV now accesses the FIR in the case. Gogamedi's wife mentions ex-Chief Minister Gehlot in the FIR. Though he is not named as an accused, she says security was not given to him despite inputs from the Punjab police. Kaun banega Chief Minister? That is a big question as BJP's marathon meetings underway in the national capital. Former Chief Minister Vasundhara Raje is in Delhi amid suspense over the Rajasthan Chief Minister. She sought time with Amit Shah and JP Nadda. Central observers in MP, Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh likely to be appointed today. And floods bring Chennai to its knees. The aftermath of Meghjom, no power in parts of Chennai for the 4th straight day. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh to visit Chennai today. And dry for 30 years, Manipur to finally legalize liquor. Manipur to lift its liquor ban after the cabinet decision. Our lead story this afternoon, well, the swearing-in ceremony in Telangana at 1:04 is when Revanth Reddy will take oath as the Chief Minister along with 12 ministers who will be inducted to the cabinet today. These are live visuals that we're getting you from Hyderabad. Of course, a big spectacle there. Because we have Gandhis, including Rahul Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi attending the swearing-in ceremony along with the Congress chief Mallikarjun Kharge. Also DK Shivkumar and Siddaramaiah present at the swearing-in ceremony as well. In fact, the Congress has also sent out invites to various members of the India bloc. This after, a lot of those leaders from the India bloc had expressed their displeasure after the Congress's defeat in the Hindi heartland states. The Congress's bid to placate a lot of those, leaders there. In fact, invites were also sent to Chief Minister M.K. Stalin, Jagan Mohan Reddy, Mamata Banerjee, in fact, was also invited. In fact, what our colleague Saurabh Gupta is now reporting is that Rahul Gandhi had spoken to Mamata Banerjee, and she told her why she couldn't attend the swearing-in ceremony because of several other engagements. TMC MP Derek O'Brien is representing his party there at the swearing-in ceremony. But Uma, let me go straight across to you. What is the mood there? Revanth Reddy all set to take oath as the Chief Minister. Talk to us also about the composition of the cabinet and what you're seeing, the kind of colour that you're seeing, on the ground there.
Vedant, even as we talk, Revanth Reddy, the Chief Minister-elect, is in an open vehicle with Sonia Gandhi, and he is, in fact, the cavalcade is moving into the stadium through the gate number 8, and it is moving towards the main stage. So this is a time when Revanth Reddy wants to showcase that this victory is credited to Sonia Gandhi, because he believes that the people of Telangana do consider her the mother of Telangana, because it was with her initiative that the Telangana was formed. That's what he has been saying in meeting after meeting. So it is in that open vehicle that you can see Revanth Reddy coming along with Sonia Gandhi, waving to the crowds. A huge amount of people outside the stadium as well. As you know, Revanth Reddy had in fact extended an open invitation to the people of Telangana to come and to participate in the formation of the people's government. So Sonia Gandhi agreed to come here, even though she was not able to come during the campaign period. Revanth Reddy had gone specifically to invite her and the rest of the Gandhi family and the AICC leaders as well. And now in that open cavalcade vehicle, you have Sonia Gandhi along with Revanth Reddy going around the stadium, waving to the people who have gathered there. Large numbers of them, of course, are Congress workers. The public also had gathered, and many of them feel that they possibly are not getting a chance to go inside because the police doesn't want to take any chances with an overfull stadium, and therefore they are keeping the numbers limited inside and outside. Also, they have put up some LED screens so that people can participate in the mood and in the occasion of celebration for the Congress party, while still not causing any kind of a security nightmare with so many VVIPs who have gathered there. So Sonia Gandhi waving to the people there even as she is going. Yes, just a short while ago we saw Revanth Reddy's wife Geeta, who happens to be in fact the niece of Jaipur Reddy, veteran Congress leader, who used to be also information minister in the central government. He is married to her brother's daughter, and she had come, and so had his only daughter Naimisha with the baby Rian, who was just born this April, and the baby is someone who Revanth loves to hold and photograph, and even in political photographs you'll find that right now. Also Mallikarjun Kharge, the Congress president, also on the dais. You have the working president of the party, the family of Revanth Reddy, all the senior leaders also assembled there inside the stadium, even as this open vehicle in which Sonia Gandhi standing in the front and Revanth Reddy behind him, very much like a soldier of the party, because he has been repeatedly saying that he credits the victory to Sonia Gandhi's contribution as someone who had a very major role to play in the formation of Telangana, and he knows that there is a lot of equity that she enjoys among the people of Telangana, and he wants to tell the people of Telangana that yes, she played a big role in Telangana, and I will take this forward as the Chief Minister of Telangana, the first Congress Chief Minister of the state of Telangana. So there they have come near the dais, and now they will be going on to the main stage, where we are expecting that in a short while from now the swearing-in ceremony will happen. All the VIPs have already assembled on the dais. We will now expect in a short while that the governor will be coming in.
Right, Uma, quite a spectacle there with, we have live shots of Sonia Gandhi also in that open vehicle. Of course, Revanth Reddy there waving to his supporters. But Veera, I was discussing this with Uma earlier as well. Who is really Revanth Reddy? A lot of people would be interested in knowing, more about this man, this young politician, at least by the standards of Indian politics. Very few people would actually know that he was a part of the ABVP as well as a student leader. Then he joined the TDP. Talk to us about Revanth Reddy and his politics.
Before we get to Revant Reddy and politics, I think we should put this question across to Uma. She was making a very important point there about Revant Reddy and Sonia Gandhi coming in together. And I think, Vedant, it's important to understand that symbolism.
And he's someone, like you mentioned, who started his political life in that sense. In his student days, he was associated with the ABVP while he was at the AV college here at Usmania University. Interestingly, he's a student of visual arts, but did not stick with that profession. He was running a printing press at that time. He was also dealing with real estate.
I'm sorry, I'm interrupting you there. But the question that Veera asked actually was, the spectacle of Revant Reddy actually arriving with Sonia Gandhi, and how is that significant?
And add to that, Uma, also the question of, is it possible for the Congress now to rewrite the Telangana narrative? Because the last 10 years, you've seen the KCR image dominate the Telangana narrative. And as you point out, and as most of us who observed it know, Sonia Gandhi was credited by the Congress for having made it. So would you see a sense of a retaliation from the Congress now in terms of the narrative for Telangana formation?
Yes, before I answer your question, Veera, just on the screen, I must say the lady in the green sari just with is the wife of Revant Reddy, who just met with Sonia Gandhi, the family of Revant Reddy, his daughter as well, and the grandson as well. They met with Sonia Gandhi, and now they are all seated there waiting for the ceremony itself to begin. Yes, Sonia Gandhi is someone who enjoys a lot of goodwill among the people of Telangana. If the earlier generation of people spoke about Indra Sonia Amma is also someone who is revered by the people of Telangana, and in fact in some places you would even find an idol of Sonia Gandhi put up as though she's the mother goddess taking the form of Sonia Gandhi. That's Priyanka Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi, shots of them walking in, and then that is also creating a buzz among the audience. So what Congress strategists have also told us that the popularity of the Gandhi family among the people of Telangana, especially in the rural areas, is something that did help Revant Reddy and the Congress during this entire campaign. So that goodwill is something that the Congress was not able to politically exploit either in 2014 or in 2018 for various other political reasons as well. In 2018, the narrative had been changed by KCR as once again an onslaught by the people from Andhra region, because the Congress was in alliance with Telugu Desam, and that seemed to have harmed the Congress political prospects very badly during that time. And in 2014 also he created the same kind of a buzz and a perception that if the Congress were to come to power, once again it's the leaders from Delhi or from Andhra Pradesh who would be controlling. So the Congress was not able to send across or convey the message that they were quite a bit responsible for the formation of Telangana. Even though they had given the credit to Sonia Gandhi, even though they do credit that KCR was also there as part of the struggle, but all the political parties, we must remember, in Telangana, whoever was in Telangana, they had, should I say, no choice but to talk about Telangana, and they did feel strongly about the issue of a separate state. And now, by putting Sonia Gandhi at the forefront of this, in fact, Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi making a later entry, Sonia Gandhi is the one who is the prime focus, and therefore they want to remind the people of Telangana that yes, the Congress made a big contribution in the formation of a separate state, and they know that going on to the 2024 elections as well, they need these images and these narratives to be able to once again exploit it or take advantage of it politically, to be able to repeat their performance here, if not better the performance in the 2024 elections.
Right, Veera, you had a point to make. Yeah, go ahead.
Uma, it's also fascinating that the old lot who were part of the Congress's Telangana movement, had deserted the party, went to the PRS, several of them absent now. This is a new lot. This is a lot that sort of, not amongst the old MPs who were part of that movement at that time, trying to force the Congress lobbying. So it's actually a fascinating change, as you say, within the Congress party as well, right? Over the last 10 years, there was a metamorphosis for the Congress party in terms of its Telangana leadership, its Telangana grassroots realities. It had to rebuild itself after the 2014 national defeat, as well as the defeat in Telangana. Then, of course, the 2018 drought, after which you saw several of the leaders shift over, whether it was a Sudhir Reddy or a Savita Reddy from Hyderabad area. So the party will be looking at rebuilding itself at a much stronger pace from now on, between now and not just 2024, perhaps through this term.
Right, Uma, go ahead.
While Mrs. Priyanka Gandhi brings her own brand.
So, I was not able to hear the question very clearly, but I guess you're talking about the change that has come in the Congress party, that from 2014 to 2023, they have not been electorally successful. In fact, have done quite poorly. It was almost predicted that the Congress, like it got wiped out in the other Telugu state of Andhra Pradesh, it is likely to meet the same fate in Telangana. That's what the doomsayers were saying for the Congress, because its performance, especially in the by-polls after the 2018 elections, when in fact their party split at a big number, went into the BRS, and then they were coming third in the by-polls. In the municipal elections as well, they hardly got about 2 or 3 seats, 2 seats initially, and then 1 more subsequently. So out of 150 wards, they did so poorly, and they were hardly there in the opposition space. But all that has, in a sense, changed with the arrival of a Revant Reddy on the scene, who seemed to give the party new energy. And therefore, I think the choice of the leadership also to stick with Revant Reddy, because they know that he's someone who has brought new momentum for the party, and his own personal traits of someone who is quite aggressive in the way he attacks the opposition parties, taking on, whether it's a KCR or whether it's taking on the BJP. He can be quite sharp in his attacks, and that's something that has won him admirers and fans across the state, and that is something that the Congress would want to exploit while building on its vote base, which it always had in Telangana. That vote share is something that they will have to build on to be able to take it to the next level, because even now the vote share difference between a BRS and the Congress in Telangana is only about 2%, but the BJP has doubled its vote share from about 7% to about 14%, and they are certainly looking like they are going to be working strategically to improve that on the ground here. And when Lok Sabha elections come, it would be people would be looking at the BRS party differently and the Congress and the BJP differently, and therefore the Congress will have to build on what it has been able to get in Telangana to be able to do a better job in the 2024 elections.
Right, and I'm also being joined by Balu Pulipaka, political editor of the Deccan Chronicle. Thanks very much, sir, for joining us. Veera Raghav was in fact making a very interesting point about the Gandhis being at the forefront, particularly Sonia Gandhi being front and center. In fact, they campaigned heavily in Telangana as well, several public meetings and rallies. How much do you think have the Gandhis, how much to their credit that they've been able to sort of swing Telangana as far as their victory is concerned there, and how much are the Gandhis important as far as this entire victory is concerned?
See, the Gandhis have always been very, very important for the Congress party. There is no doubt about it, and Congress never ever missed an opportunity to talk about how Sonia Gandhi gave Congress. And it also always talked about how KCR, after winning the first time, went and met Sonia Gandhi along with his entire family. The Congress has always maintained that it was only because of Sonia that Telangana happened. That's number one. Number two, as far as the elections are concerned, the battle was really between Congress and the BRS. And Congress, of course, made it a point repeatedly calling on people to recognize the role of Sonia Gandhi. It did help, I think, in some ways, especially among women voters in rural areas. And, excuse me.
Right.
So
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. And that's why I think Sonia Gandhi's presence is important. Sonia Gandhi's narrative, the Congress narrative with Sonia Gandhi is extremely important in Telangana at this point of time. That's what I would think.
Absolutely. And Veera, apart from the optics, looking also at the caste composition, how they were able to sort of accommodate leaders from across castes. Of course, it's a cabinet dominated by the Reddys, but also very interesting that the Yadavs, also a very important community there in Telangana. So talk to us about that, how the Congress has been able to sort of by and large accommodate all castes in the cabinet.
Yes, Vedant, as we talk about it, and we'll try to get Uma as well involved in that conversation as she observes it very closely. There you have Tamilisai Soundararajan, the governor of Telangana, who is there along with
So the governor has arrived, Governor Tamilisai Soundararajan has arrived, and the Chief Minister-elect, Mr. Revanth Reddy, has accompanied her to the dais, and the national anthem, of course, played out as always at the beginning of the official ceremony starting. And that's the Chief Secretary, Santi Sikumari, who is inviting the Governor, Tamilisai Soundararajan.
With the kind permission of Honorable Governor, Madam, I request the Honorable Chief Minister Designate of the State of Telangana, Sri Anumala Revanth Reddy Garu, to take the Honorable Governor, Madam.
So the stadium, in fact, going up in an uproar as Revanth Reddy is being invited to take his oath to office.
I request the Honorable Chief Minister Designate of the State of Telangana, Sri Anumala Revanth Reddy Garu, to take the oath of office and secrecy. I request the Honorable Governor, Madam, to kindly administer the oath of office and secrecy to Sri Anumala Revanth Reddy Garu, Chief Minister Designate of the State of Telangana.
The crowd goes into an applause.
యనమల రేవంత్ రెడ్డి అనే నేను శాసనం ద్వారా నిర్మితమైన భారత రాజ్యాంగం పట్ల నిజమైన విశ్వాసం విధేయత చూపుతానని భారతదేశ సార్వభౌమాధికారాన్ని సమగ్రతను కాపాడుతానని తెలంగాణ రాష్ట్ర ముఖ్యమంత్రిగా నా కర్తవ్యాన్ని శ్రద్ధతో అంతఃకరణ చిత్తశుద్ధితో నిర్వహిస్తానని భయం గాని పక్షపాతం గాని రాగద్వేషాలు గాని లేకుండా రాజ్యాంగాన్ని శాసనాలను అనుసరించి ప్రజలందరికీ న్యాయం చేకూర్చుతానని.
So Revanth Reddy takes the oath to office in Telugu and says that he swears by God to fulfill his duties, and you can see the crowd reaction that he is a very popular among the people of Telangana, because of which the uproar among the audience as he mentions his name and takes the oath to office.
కర్తవ్యాలను సక్రమంగా నిర్వహించేందుకు
So that's Surendra Mohan, the governor's office staff, who's making him sign on the paper where he signs as Anumala Revanth signing up there.
ప్రమాణం చేస్తున్నాను.
So Anumala Revanth Reddy is now the first Congress Chief Minister of Telangana. He has signed there on the paper, and that's been countersigned also by Governor Tamilisai Soundararajan, who will in a short while hand over the bouquet to him and congratulate him for taking over as the Chief Minister of Telangana. So the exchange of
Uma, it's fascinating. In many ways, Revanth Reddy represents the new face of the Congress party. How he carries out his role as Chief Minister, how he takes everyone along, would be very closely watched. Fascinating story here of Revanth Reddy, a man who shifts several places, finally finds his base in the Congress party and emerges the Chief Minister of the state of Telangana. As you point out, the first Congress Chief Minister since the formation of the state in 2014.
Yes, indeed. Revanth Reddy is someone who has, in a sense, should I say, created history by coming in and, in a very short time, rising in the Congress from the joining of the party to becoming the chief of the party, and then taking over now as Chief Minister. He does have a challenging time ahead with his team members. But what we do understand is that a big majority of the MLAs are with him, and if the 2 or 3 people or 4 people people who may have, said that they are also in contention to be chief minister. They also would like to see a smooth running of the Congress government, and largely are not known to be troublemakers in that sense, and therefore Revanth Reddy's challenges may not so much come from inside. At least that is the hope of both the leadership as well as
Pallu Bhatti Vikramarka of the Madira constituency, Khammam, since 2009 has been a Congress MLA, was the CLP leader. He's taking oath of office there, Uma, Deputy Chief Minister.
Yes, indeed. Bhatti Vikramarka is someone whose family has also been in the Congress. His brothers have been in the Congress as well. And he's someone who did conduct a Padyatra. He went 1,362 kilometers foot march for 4 months. And that also gave the momentum and the impetus to the party. Of course, he belongs to the Khammam region, where even otherwise the Congress has been quite strong, I must say, because even in 2018 they managed to get 9 out of the 10 seats in the Khammam district, the erstwhile Khammam district. But Bhatti Vikramarka now being sworn in as the Deputy Chief Minister of Revanth Reddy government, and he's just now taken his oath to office here. We are expecting that the other names that will start being spoken about, Bhatti Vikramarka and Uttam Kumar Reddy, were two senior leaders who had gone and spoken to the leadership asking to be considered also for the post of Chief Minister. But subsequently they have agreed to what the leadership has said. They have been spoken to, they have been convinced that they were valued and they are respected, and that's what will hopefully turn out into a cohesive team, because the challenges that they have ahead is even bigger.
Uma, a lot of those who followed the Congress closely say that Mr. Kharge was very keen on Bhatti Vikramarka getting the projection. The Congress was also very keen on getting him primarily because KCR, remember, the Congress had gone into campaign saying, had promised an SC chief minister but never delivered on it. They wanted to give prominence to this space. Obviously, the caste politics of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana dominated by the upper caste for several decades. But of course, in that context, Bhatti Vikramarka would be an extraordinarily important symbolic assertion. And there you see the CM and Deputy CM together, Uma.
Yes, indeed. You can see Revanth Reddy hugging Bhatti Vikramarka. That's a message that they are sending across. Yes, KCR had promised a Dalit chief minister, but he went back on it and did not hand over the mantle of chief ministership to anyone from the Dalit community. But the Congress does have a history of doing that earlier as well. One of the other ministers who's going to be sworn in here, Damodar Raj Narasimha, in fact belongs also to the scheduled caste. He was a minister in Rajshekhar Reddy's cabinet, and he was in fact a deputy chief minister in Kiran Kumar Reddy's cabinet. Right now, of course, Uttam Kumar Reddy, who has been the PCC chief of Telangana, he's someone who was the contender for chief minister as well, and he had gone to Delhi and put forth his case before the leadership in Delhi. He was told that yes, we respect your loyalty, your experience, and what you have brought to the party as well. But he has also been spoken to at Aswad, should I say, and when I spoke to him later, he said, I am a disciplined soldier, I have been in the army. He was an Air Force fighter pilot, remember, and he said, as a disciplined soldier, I will certainly abide by the party leadership's decision, and therefore now taking oath as one of the ministers in Revanth Reddy's cabinet.
Had this victory come 5 years earlier, Uma, we may have seen Uttam Kumar Reddy at the helm. Unfortunately, it had to be a Reddy, but it wasn't Uttam Kumar Reddy. He had to give space to Revanth Reddy. I mean, 2018 was his election as the Congress president. Unfortunately, the alliance with TDP just didn't work out. So I guess politics is all about time. Whether you're a Reddy or not, you need to have the time to become chief minister.
Yes, indeed. 2018, it was under the, he was PCC chief, but unable to deliver, and therefore that is something that he would certainly regret, that 2018 could have been a time when he would have been the undisputedly made the chief minister at that time, but that did not happen, and it is now 2023. He can keep his personal record and say that, yes, I have for 7 times consecutively. Have won elections, have been MP as well. Coming up next, in fact, in the list of those to be taking their oath to office is Damodar Raj Narasimha. This is the person I was speaking about, who was Primary Education Minister in the YSR cabinet and went on to be Deputy Chief Minister in Kiran Kumar Reddy's cabinet. Damodar Raj Narasimha would also be a person with ministerial experience and also someone who represents the scheduled caste community, and more importantly the Madiga group among the scheduled caste community. Madiga is a very dominant proportion of part of the SC community here, and it is this community that was targeted by the BJP when the Prime Minister came here and spoke about sub-categorization for the scheduled caste community, because Madigas constitute straight away about 12% of the population here, 60% of the SC population. And for the Congress party, the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes is a big proportion of the people who are seen as voting for the Congress party, and therefore they have a good representation in this, the first phase of the cabinet that's being formed of Revant Reddy. 11 ministers plus the chief minister, that makes it 12. So the number in this itself, you have about 4 people from the Reddy community, but 2 people from the scheduled caste community as well.
Let me also get in Mr. Balu Pulipaka, as political editor of Deccan Chronicle. He's been with us. Mr. Pulipaka, break it down for viewers outside Telangana. How significant is this visual of Mr. Uttam Kumar Reddy and Bhatti Vikramarka and Mr. Revant Reddy together? This visual is extremely significant because the Congress has been able to, in a sense, placate these two, also seen as Chief Minister probables, keep its flock together, of course, after marathon meetings here in Delhi as well. How significant is this?
It is very important, just if nothing, to show people that the party is united. There is absolutely nothing wrong, as Revant himself had said so many times before. They have 64 MLAs, each of them should be vying for the Chief Minister's position. That is perfectly all right for him to say. But the fact is, Revant became the face of the Congress party during the elections. He was the one who led the campaign. He was the one who was seen everywhere. So in my mind, there was never any doubt that who's going to be the chief minister. But the real challenge for Congress apparently was getting Uttam Kumar Reddy, who's been an MLA for a long time, and Bhatti Vikramarka, who's seen as the intellectual face of the party. You should listen to Bhatti when he talks in the assembly. He's a man who has the numbers and stuff like that, and I won't be surprised if he gets the finance just because of his background. But getting these 3 big people together and then presenting a picture of unity is extremely important right now, particularly because Congress just has 64 seats. 4 just crossed the majority mark of 60, you see. So the unity is very, very important. It is an extremely important signal that the party has sent, and that will stand the party in good stead in the days to come, days and months to come. Also remember, there are others waiting on the side. Though BRS right now says that it's not going to do anything and so on and so forth, there have been noises from Kadiyam Srihari, who just won an election recently after being an MLC for some time for the BRS. Right. He thinks this is going to go down very, very soon and so on and so forth.
Right.
Noises like that.
As we speak, Kumar Reddy, Venkat Reddy is currently taking oath as well. But Uma, come in on the point of looking at this as an interesting mix, the cabinet, because you have the old guard also represented quite well as far as the cabinet is concerned, and a lot of fresh faces as well. How do you look at that?
Yes, indeed. Komat Reddy, Venkat Reddy, who has been a very senior leader of the party, 35 years experience from the Nalgonda district. He has delivered 11 out of 12 assembly seats in the district of Nalgonda. He could have also been contender for chief minister, but he said, I'm not having any such ambitions. I'm quite happy to be minister as well. But yes, he was in contention as well. And interestingly, Komat Reddy, Venkat Reddy's brother, Rajgopal Reddy, is the man who won from Munugod this time. He was the one who went to the BJP from the Congress after winning in 2018, and he had lost as the Munugod candidate of the BJP from there, and came back to the Congress just before the end of nominations, and won from there. Now the person who will be taking both after Komatreddy Venkat Reddy is Sridhar Babu. He belongs to the Brahmin caste. He's been someone who was in fact the chairperson of the manifesto committee, and therefore some speculation about whether he may be given the responsibility of finance, because managing all those promises that you're talking about, the 6 guarantees of the Congress, is going to be a big task. And he had created, or rather crafted, that entire manifesto community. He won from the Madira constituency, and someone who's been again a Congress loyalist. Interestingly, his wife is also a very senior officer, in fact, in the Telangana government. She's an IAS officer in the Telangana government. He has been minister before, so does have the experience of handling ministerial portfolios. One of the announcements that he had made was about once again about giving even 10 grams of gold along with the Kalyana Lakshmi, and question had come up, are you going to give 10 grams of gold to every bride here, every eligible bride here, in addition to the 1 lakh rupees that they had promised? Back to you.
All right, Veera Raghav is also with us. So Veera, one big talking point.
Congress in terms of how it plays now. I mean, just to step aside from the Congress alone as it plays out, as we go through the names that are there, it's an interesting mix and it's a fascinating story for the Congress party. As it goes along, first to Uma and then to Balu, how do you see the opposition play its role here? Do you see the BJP uniting strengths with the BRS? How do we see the BRS's strategy play out here? Because they need to play the role of an opposition. They seem to be getting squeezed between the BJP at the national level and Congress here. Remember, a lot of the BRS MLAs were people who were ex-congressmen, including those like Sukhdev Reddy, who's the Hyderabad Urban Development Authority chairman, who was one who rose with YS Rajshekhar Reddy. My first question to both of you, first to Uma, is how do you see the Congress seeing this? Because your state has often seen people shift from one side to the ruling side. Do you see some of them moving back to the Congress? B, how do you see the relationship between Revanth Reddy and Jagan Mohan Reddy evolve, and how the Congress's strategy plays forward? What influence do you believe there could be for potentially the Congress stitching up?
Okay, I couldn't hear you very clearly, Veera, but the person who is taking oath right now, Ponguleti Srinivas Reddy, another strong man from the Khammam region. What I must point out is that Ponguleti Srinivas Reddy actually won this election, the MP election in 2014 on the YSRCP ticket. So he was Jagan Mohan Reddy's party, and he won from Khammam as an MP from there in 2014. Subsequently realized that being in the YSRCP in Telangana perhaps does not make sense, and shifted to the BRS party in 2016. But subsequently in 2019 he was not given the ticket and felt ignored there. And just before the elections, in fact, he was being wooed by both the BJP as well as the Congress, and ultimately decided that the Congress is a better party for him. And Ponguleti Srinivas Reddy now fighting a place in the cabinet as well, and he's someone who has backed several candidates and a Revanth Reddy man as well. I will pass the question to Balu, since I wasn't able to hear it very clearly when Veera was speaking.
All right, Uma, thanks very much for joining us with that. Thanks very much, Veera Raghav and Balu Pulipaka, for all that perspective. Indeed, as Veera said, a historic day for the Congress. Many challenges ahead. Of course, one of the big talking points has been how there's no representation from Hyderabad, the crucial territory as far as revenue is concerned. Many challenges ahead. The task is cut out, but Revanth Reddy has taken oath as the second Chief Minister, the first Congress Chief Minister of this young state. We'll keep a close watch on this story. Short break for now.
And there's too much talking but very little being said. Too many voices but hardly any being heard. You turn to a show that puts you front and center. A show that headlines the stories of the people, by the people, for the people.
How often have you turned away from debates that descend into endless fights. We bring you a show where every question is answered, where every debate finds its resolution, where every story finds its conclusion, where opinions collide but facts prevail, where stories unfold with insights and trust. When the noise ends, the last word begins.
A debate has many facets, perhaps no one right answer. Left, right and center. Conversations that get to the core of the debate.
Business news can sound incomprehensible, unnerving, unrelatable. But how does it impact you? We deconstruct complex business news and ideas by talking directly to the leaders who shape the economy. We are serious about business.
This show isn't just about news from the southern states. It's one that looks at the rest of India and the world from a diverse South India point of view. Because NDTV has always taken the southern view seriously.
The Southern View with Veera Raghav, only on NDTV 24/7.
Welcome back. A big story coming in from Jammu and Kashmir. The NIA has attached properties of Lashkar-e-Taiba terrorists in Jammu and Kashmir. Multiple properties of LET terrorists have been seized. Now remember, the LET module was actually responsible for an attack on a BSF convoy back in 2015. 2 BSF men were in fact killed, 13 were injured, and these properties have been attached under the anti-terror law, the UAPA. These properties have been seized in Kulgam and the Pulwama districts. And this, of course, also comes amid a larger terror crackdown by various security agencies. Of course, the NIA has been very active in cracking down on terror in the past couple of months, particularly. It's also important in the context of multiple encounters, terrorist encounters and anti-terror operations in Jammu and Kashmir, in the valley, of course, in South Kashmir. In the past couple of months, there have been multiple terror encounters. In fact, we've lost several brave hearts as well. In the past couple of months, they've been killed, while in the line of duty. Which is why this terror crackdown becomes even more significant. In fact, we remember just a couple of weeks back, a Lashkar-e-Taiba terrorist was also gunned down here in Jammu and Kashmir, and there have been several infiltration bids or infiltration attempts as well that have been foiled by security agencies, including the NIA. And this NIA crackdown on Lashkar-e-Taiba is not something that's limited only to Jammu and Kashmir, but it's pan-India, so to speak. But of course, as I said, it becomes even more significant in the context of recent terror encounters. In fact, we all remember that the anti-terror operation in Anantnag that went on for a couple of days. And what makes these anti-terror operations even more difficult for our security agencies and for our army is a challenging topography as far as these areas are concerned, whether it's Anantnag or Kulgam, given the fact that these are deeply forested areas, and the topography and the terrain is extremely challenging for our army. In fact, these are joint operations led by our army and the police. As I said, several encounters reported in the past couple of months. But this is crucial. Properties attached to this LET module being seized. Nazir Masoodi is now joining us live on the broadcast. So Nazir, how significant is this? Because LET module, as we remember, was responsible for that attack, the 2015 attack on a BSF convoy. We lost 2 BSF Jawans as well. Give us more details.
Well, these are the multi-agency crackdown on terror activities and their properties, their finances. Besides, daily encounters or the operations which are being carried out to crack down militants, we see their property, their assets are being increasingly attached by the NIA, by the SIA of Jammu and Kashmir Police. These are joint operations where the paramilitary force are assisting them wherever they go. And multiple properties of militants have been actually attached over the last few days it appears to be a major crackdown. It's not just limited to encounters where militants are killed or they are caught, but actually what sustained militancy is being targeted in a big way in Jammu and Kashmir. That's why you see these attacks using UAPA law, their properties, militants and their size of property being attached by the NIA and the state investigative agency. There have been several raids and several such, these operations launched by the NIA and SI of Jammu and Kashmir Police over the last few days. So appears to be a big operation to crack down on the assets and the properties of militants to ensure that no one dares to go join militancy or anyone dares to, support militancy. That appears to be the, this aim of these things.
Right, Nazir, and also the timing is very significant as well. As I said, it comes in the backdrop of multiple infiltration attempts, multiple anti-terror operations in which our security agencies, our army, has been involved in the past couple of months. We've lost several brave hearts as well. So the timing of this terror crackdown is also very significant.
Well, we know there have been, infiltration from Pakistan. There are two aspects of fighting militancy. Those who come from Pakistan and who infiltrate through route to line of control, like we've seen Rajouri attack or Anantnag attack where security force suffered heavy casualties. Those are the challenges that may remain. But to eliminate any local support to militancy or anyone joining militancy, government is trying to make it very clear that they will have to pay a cost. Cost is not only someone would be, captured or caught and then he would be prosecuted. Security forces are also agencies looking into if he has made money and if the property which are actually part of the terror produce of the finances, if it has been made through that terror, finances. So that is being looked into in these investigations. That's why you see these properties are being increasingly, attached by the security agencies. While in several cases where the families of those militants are saying, look, they are youngsters, they don't own any property, why their houses have been attached? Those are the questions perhaps the investigative agencies need to look into or the courts will look into. But the fact is, it appears to be a major crackdown amid, increased militant incidents, attacks where security forces have suffered heavy casualties. So this is a two-pronged, strategy. One, dealing with militants by launching operations, anti-militancy operations, carrying out encounters, preventing infiltration. At the same time, finances, their assets, which actually is believed to be sustaining militancy, that is being targeted in a big way.
So that's important, the fact that it's also the larger terror financing that the security agency is also looking at. And we all remember how Lashkar-e-Taiba terrorists were also gunned down a couple of weeks back. But talk to us also about, this, what many would call a new wave of militancy in the valley. You've covered militancy all your life, Nazir. Would you call it a fresh wave or perhaps a new wave of militancy as far as Jammu and Kashmir is concerned?
Well, militancy, we all know, is a very complex, complex problem. It's not just one way you look at it. There's no crystal ball to see how it would be dealt with. The fact is that as I said, there's a multi-pronged, strategy now in place where you see the security agencies have been, generating intelligence to carry out target encounters where they can eliminate militants. They try to, prevent, recruitment of local users, and to a great extent that has been stopped. And if we see in this year, only 10 locals have joined militancy compared to more than 100 in last year. So that appears to be a huge success.
Right. So an important development there as far as the terror crackdown is concerned, the NIA attaching properties linked to the LET. We'll take a short break now. News continues on the other side.
Welcome to Serious Business on NDTV.
$1 has only secured 0.6 sense of private capital. That needs to fundamentally change.
By mid-century, India's economy will grow eightfold.
One topic.
When a family comes out of the poverty line, what would be the first asset class they would buy? It's gold.
One speaker.
It's the biggest attack on Jews since the Holocaust.
If you want to control inflation, you need to play the trade policy.
UPI, Aadhaar, all of that, where India is well ahead of the West.
5 trillion is a short-term goal. I would like to see India becoming a $30 trillion economy.
How often have you turned away from debates that descend into endless fights? We bring you a show where every question is answered, where every debate finds its resolution, where every story finds its conclusion, where opinions collide but facts prevail, where stories unfold with insights and trust. When the noise ends, the last word begins.
हर महीने 2.5 करोड़ हमारे देश में आंगनवाड़ी का हमारा सिस्टम होम विजिट करता है। मतलब साल का कम से कम 24 से 25 करोड़ होम विजिट्स हमारे मंत्रालय के माध्यम से होता है। हर आंगनवाड़ी बहन के पास एक स्मार्टफोन हो और स्मार्टफोन में एनालिटिक्स के साथ उनके पास एक ऐप हो, डिवाइस इनेबल्ड हो कि वो हर एक बेनिफिशियरी तक, लाभार्थी तक रिकॉर्ड सहित पहुंच सके।
आज के दिन में ऑलमोस्ट 10% आंगनवाड़ी जो है ऑन बोर्ड।
Management system protocols enables is giving the Angawadi workers the knowledge.
Since Anganwadi workers are frontline workers and are interacting with society on a day-to-day basis, I think this is going to be a game changer in that sense.
There's too much talking but very little being said. Too many voices but hardly any being heard. You turn to a show that puts you front and center. A show that headlines the stories of the people, by the people, for the people.
How often have you turned away from debates that descend into endless fights? We bring you a show where every question is answered, where every debate finds its resolution, where every story finds its conclusion, where opinions collide but facts prevail, where stories unfold with insights and trust. When the noise ends, the last word begins.
A debate has many facets, perhaps no one right answer. Left, right and center. Conversations that get to the core of the debate.
Business news can sound incomprehensible, unnerving, unrelatable. But how does it impact you? We deconstruct complex business news and ideas by talking directly to the leaders who shape the economy. We are serious about business.
This show isn't just about news from the southern states. It's one that looks at the rest of India and the world from a diverse South India point of view, because NDTV has always taken the southern view seriously.
The Southern View with Veera Raghav, only on NDTV 24/7.
Welcome back. Amid the push for opposition unity, many differences that are yet to be ironed out and many challenges for the India bloc. In fact, West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee has said that the India bloc meeting will happen soon. She also says she skipped the meetings as she did not know about the pre-scheduled programs that she had. In fact, Mamata Banerjee interestingly added that Rahul Gandhi had called her the day before and she had told him the same thing and added that the meeting will happen and there's nothing to worry about. So this as chinks within the India bloc being reported, Mamata Banerjee and Rahul Gandhi speaking on a call. And now the big story we are tracking very closely on NDTV, the floods in Chennai and how it's brought the city to its knees. In fact, 17 people have died because of the floods in the past 5 days. This is the aftermath of Cyclone Migjom. Well, no power has been reported in parts of Chennai. In fact, the latest that we're getting is that after 4 days of constant power cuts, 85% power has been restored. In fact, those visuals that you just saw on your screens were that of Defence Minister Rajnath Singh conducting an aerial survey there in Chennai. He will also be affecting visiting low-lying areas and affected areas. This aerial survey is extremely important as far as taking stock of the damage that these floods have actually caused to Chennai. But how are residents of Chennai actually coping with these unprecedented floods? There are absolutely gut-wrenching stories coming in from Chennai. Take a look at this report.
Chennai, a submerged city, 2 days after Cyclone Migjom triggered rains flooded the city. Aerial food drop captures the plight of those marooned in flooded, low-lying pockets. Without power for the third day, even as the core of the city goes back to normal. Rescue team on a boat ride into the posh Tansy colony at low-lying Velachery. People fleeing on boats to take shelter in their friends' or families' homes. Many wading through waist to neck-deep waters. Villas and apartments flooded. Vehicles submerged. Aruna, an expecting mother, manages to come to safety after a 2-day wait for a boat.
Nobody is there to help us. If somebody can help, they could go get the older people. Boats are very, very small. It's not safe. So request the government to give some bigger boat so that people out there can come out.
Right. Government is not arranging any arrangement is very poor.
Right.
Very poor.
Cyclone Migjom mayhem has claimed 8 lives so far. Authorities say around 400 boats have been deployed to rescue people and that they are attending to SOS calls in a systematic way. They assure restoration of power in less than 48 hours.
A little bit just over 24 hours. Certain areas the water is draining very fast. Certain areas where it is not being able to drain, our officers are also making assessment and we are going to be informing our feedback to our other departments which will be responsible for helping us drain this area.
Call it impact of climate change or heavy price being paid for encroaching water bodies or collapsing cities' infrastructure. For many, the nightmare continues for the third night in flooded homes without electricity, bringing back memories of the 2015 floods. But the big question, or any lessons being learned? At Chennai's Tansy Nagar in Velachery, with Suresh, Sam Daniel, Find TV.
Welcome to Serious Business on NDTV.
$1 has only secured 0.6 cents of private capital. That needs to fundamentally change.
By mid-century, India's economy will grow 8-fold.
One topic.
When a family comes out of the poverty line, what would be the first asset class they would buy? It's gold.
One speaker.
It's the biggest attack on Jews since the Holocaust.
If you want to control inflation, you need to play the trade policy.
UPI, Aadhaar, all of that, where India is well ahead of the West.
5 trillion is a short-term goal. I would like to see India becoming a $30 trillion economy.
How often have you turned away from debates that descend into endless fights? We bring you a show where every question is answered. where every debate finds its resolution, where every story finds its conclusion, where opinions collide but facts prevail, where stories unfold with insights and trust. When the noise ends, the last word begins.
हर महीने 2.5 करोड़ हमारे देश में आंगनवाड़ी का हमारा सिस्टम होम विजिट करता है। मतलब साल का कम से कम 24 से 25 करोड़ होम विजिट्स हमारे मंत्रालय के माध्यम से होता है। हर आंगनवाड़ी बहन के पास एक स्मार्टफोन हो और स्मार्टफोन में एनालिटिक्स के साथ उनके पास एक
This is NDTV and you're watching NDTV 24x7.
Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV 24x7. I am Vedant Agarwal. Well, Revant Reddy has taken oath as the second Chief Minister of Telangana. 12 ministers have been sworn in with him. And also, we'll get you the latest on what is happening in Parliament. The Ethics Committee is likely to table its report tomorrow as far as the Mahua cash for query row is concerned. We'll get you all of that. But first up, the headlines. Revant Reddy takes oath as the Chief Minister of Telangana. 12 ministers sworn in to Revant's cabinet. Mallu Bhatti Vikramarka appointed the Deputy Chief Minister. An anti-terror crackdown in Jammu and Kashmir's Kulgam and Pulwama. Properties of Lashkar-e-Taiba terrorists have been attached. This action comes after an LET attack killed 2 BSF personnel. The big flashpoint in Rajasthan. Well, NDTV accesses the FIR in the Karni Sena chief murder case. Gogamedi's wife mentions ex-Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot in the FIR, but he's not an accused in it. Gogamedi's wife says the security was denied to the Karni Sena chief despite threats. The aftermath of Migjom. Well, floods bring Chennai to its knees. No power in Chennai, parts of Chennai for the 4th straight day. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh visits Chennai amid the floods. Marathon BJP meetings in Delhi to pick 3 state chief ministers. The big question, who will be Rajasthan's chief minister? Well, Vasundhara Raje is in Delhi to meet the top leadership. The BJP is likely to appoint central observers today. All right, we have some breaking news coming in. The Ethics Committee is likely to table its report in Parliament tomorrow. This is what sources have indicated to NDTV. This is, of course, crucial because remember, this has been a huge political flashpoint. The cash for questions row has been at the center of the standoff between the opposition, particularly the TMC and the central government. Well, the Ethics Committee was likely to table the report on the first day of the Parliament, of the winter session of Parliament. But now what sources are telling us is that the Ethics Committee will table its report tomorrow. It will be the 5th day of the winter session of Parliament. Of course, the TMC, including Mamata Banerjee herself, has predicted that the government is all set to expel Mahua Moitra, but the TMC has said that this will only benefit her politically. Now, Mahua Moitra has also gone on record to say that this is just political vendetta. In fact, she had said that she did share her Parliament login and password with the office of businessman Darshan Hiranandani, but the OTP ultimately came on her phone. That is what her defense, has been. But the Parliament login and password, that has been really at the center of this controversy, which is why the Ethics Committee, was also examining that aspect very, very closely. In fact, that Ethics Committee hearing was also quite a high voltage one, with Mahua Moitra walking out, storming out of the Ethics Committee hearing. In fact, she said that the chairman of the Ethics Committee, Mr. Sonkar, asked derogatory questions, condescending questions. In fact, there you have those visuals of Mahua Moitra storming out of the Ethics Committee hearing. But now the Ethics Committee is set to table its report tomorrow. This is likely to be tomorrow, as I said, and it's going to be a huge flashpoint in Parliament as well. Remains to be seen how this plays out. Of course, it was today, just today, that we actually saw several women MPs of the TMC protesting outside the Gandhi statue against Union Minister Giriraj Singh's remarks, which they say were condescending and sort of put down Mamata Banerjee. It's only likely to get more stormy as the winter session progresses. The TMC, as I said, has already claimed that the government is prepared to expel her from Parliament. The committee was likely to table its report on the first day of the winter session, but it was delayed. Many say that it was done so, because the government wanted the Parliament to function smoothly, and this is something that is likely to see, we're likely to witness action-packed scenes in the Parliament starting tomorrow, with the Ethics Committee set to table its report. And well, the other big story, Revanth Reddy has been sworn in as the Chief Minister of Telangana, the second Chief Minister of this young state. So Telangana has gotten its first Congress Chief Minister, and very interesting visuals coming in from Hyderabad. Of course, the top brass of the Congress present there, including Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi, of course, Congress Chief Mallikarjun Kharge present there as well. DK Shiv Kumar and Chief Minister Siddaramaiah also there for the swearing in. And of course, the most interesting visual was that of Revanth Reddy along with Uttam Kumar Reddy and Bhatti Vikramarka, who were also seen as Chief Minister probables in the race for the top job. But the Congress projecting a united face there in Telangana after its rather emphatic victory. What's also interesting is the larger national picture, because the Congress had also sent invites to various India bloc members, including Chief Minister M.K. Stalin. Jagan Mohan Reddy was also sent an invite. Mamata Banerjee, though Mamata Banerjee did not attend the swearing in because of several other commitments, but TMC MP Derek O'Brien represented the TMC there at the swearing in. Of course, multiple talking points as far as the swearing in is concerned, including the fact that this is after decades that there is no Hyderabad face there in the cabinet, because the Congress lost all its seats in Hyderabad. Though the Congress is looking at getting a senior leader elected via the Legislative Council, so that is one of the challenges for the Congress there. But indeed a historic day for the Congress, because it's the second southern state that the Congress has been able to conquer. Uma Sudhir is now joining us live on the broadcast. So Uma, very interestingly, you have 12 ministers taking oath along with Revanth Reddy. It is indeed a historic day for the Congress, but talk to us about the composition of the cabinet and how significant is this for the Congress nationally as well.
Okay, what Revanth Reddy has now done is actually he is addressing the people even as we talk, and he has tried to bring about the big difference that will be there between the government that existed so far, the KCR government, and the Congress government now. The first step that he has announced is that the Pragati Bhavan, which was otherwise fortified, already the railings outside Pragati Bhavan, the very tall ones, which kind of separated the Chief Minister's office from the people of Telangana, those are already being brought down even as the Chief Minister took oath. And what he has announced is that I am opening up my office to the people of Telangana, the length and breadth of Telangana. Anyone from anywhere can come and meet me, and I am here as your elected leader to solve your issues. And therefore, he's talking about one of the things that he has been criticizing the KCR government for, inaccessibility. And that's the first roadblock that he says he's going to remove. And tomorrow from 10 a.m. onwards, he will be meeting people at Pragati Bhavan. So that is a stamp of Chief Minister. He wants to establish that he is a people's government, and that's why this announcement that he's making struck a very stage where he took oath as Chief Minister, attacking KCR for not being accessible to the people, and saying that it is a people's government that's been formed, and telling people that they are also stakeholders in his government. So 11 people sworn in along with Revant Reddy. The caste balance is taken care of well. 3 Reddys, 2 BCs, 2 ST community people, 1 from ST community, 1 from Velama, and 1 from Kamma community as well, 1 from Brahmin community. So the balance taken care of. But the geographical imbalance in terms of Hyderabad not being represented and the Muslim face not being there in this cabinet, that I'm sure in the second phase of the cabinet expansion that would happen.
Right, and also very interestingly, we saw how the Congress has been able to balance various castes and also religions, even though there is no Muslim face in the cabinet, as you've been reporting as well. But one of the talking points has been that there is no face from Hyderabad. How much of a challenge is that going to be for the Congress government, given the fact that a lot of revenue comes from Hyderabad as well, and given the fact that the Congress has so many welfare schemes to sort of that it has promised to the people? How much of this lack of Hyderabad face will be a challenge for the Congress?
I think it's a matter of time before a Muslim face is inducted. It may not happen to the MLA route because Feroz Khan, who is a Congress candidate from Nampally, and they had given a good fight to the MIM, he was not able to win. Neither was Mohammad Azharuddin, who was fielded from the Jubilee Hills constituency. He was not able to win either. And Mohammad Shabir, who has been an experienced face of the party from the Muslim community, he vacated his Kamareddy seat, went to Nizamabad urban, but could not win this election. And I spoke to him, in fact, yesterday. He was one of those who accompanied Revant Reddy when he went to Delhi to invite Sonia Gandhi and other leaders to come to this function. And what the understanding is that any of these leaders could be brought in as MLCs into the legislature and then made as ministers as well. They would certainly want Hyderabad face to be represented in this ministry, and that is also something that they are likely to take either the MLC route, and they are also hearing about leaders who have been former ministers in BRS government, already in talks with the Congress leaders from, the AICC members, talking to Mr. Manikla Thackeray, and even some of them have spoken to DK Shivkumar, I understand, and they will be looking for an entry into the Congress party, and the Congress would want to fortify themselves. What I understand is that the CPI and the CPM, CPM of course is not a formal partner, but the CPI was a partner, and they are not in favor of these kind of inductions. What I also understand is that the civil society organizations like Telangana Jana Samiti, which has supported, and issued a statement, in fact, saying that we do not want inductions from other parties. So how does Congress tackle this politically? Now, we're still, waiting to be seen, but certainly they need to fortify those areas before they, go into the parliament elections in 2024.
Right, Uma, thanks so much for joining us with all those details. So many challenges ahead indeed for this newly sworn in cabinet, but a historic day for the Congress and Revant Reddy, the young leader, the young at 54, who has now taken oath as the Chief Minister of Telangana. Moving now to news from Jammu and Kashmir. Well, in a major anti-terror crackdown, the NIA has attached properties in Kulgam and Pulwama. Now, these are properties linked to the Lashkar-e-Taiba. Now, this action comes after the LET attack that killed 2 BSF personnel. Now, remember this, it was the Lashkar-e-Taiba module that was responsible for that BSF convoy attack that killed 2 BSF personnel. What is the larger significance of it, and why is the timing important? Nazir has more details.
Multi-agency crackdown on terror activities and their properties, their finances. Besides, daily encounters or the operations which are being carried out to track down militants, we see their property, their assets are being increasingly attached by the NIA, by the SIA of Jammu and Kashmir Police. These are joint operations where the paramilitary force are assisting them wherever they go. And multiple properties of militants have been actually attached over the last few days. It appears to be a major crackdown. It's not just limited to encounters where militants are killed or they are caught, but actually what sustained militancy is being targeted in a big way in Jammu and Kashmir. That's why you see these attacks using UAPA law, their properties, militants and their sympathizers' property being attached by the NIA and the state investigative agency. There have been several raids and several such, these operations launched by the NIA and SI of Jammu and Kashmir Police over the last few days. So appears to be a big operation to crack down on the assets and the properties of militants to ensure that no one dares to go join militancy or anyone dares to support militancy. That appears to be the this aim of these.
So, well, this in the larger context of a pan-India terror crackdown that we're looking at currently. Moving to political news now, well, amid reports of differences within the India alliance and many India bloc leaders expressing displeasure after the Congress's defeat in the Hindi heartland, West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee says that the India bloc meeting will happen soon. Well, she also says that she skipped the meetings because she did not know about it and that she had several pre-scheduled programs as well. She also said that Rahul Gandhi had called her the day before and she told him the same thing, and she also said that there's nothing to worry about, the meetings will happen soon. And well, the latest now on what's become a huge political flashpoint in Rajasthan, and that is the murder of the Karni Sena chief in Jaipur. And now there is a full-blown blame game that has broken out as well. In fact, Gogamedi's wife, Gogamedi is the Karni Sena chief that we're talking about, who was killed in Jaipur. Now, in her FIR that NDTV has now accessed, Gogamedi's wife mentions former Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot and a top police official, the DGP of Rajasthan, saying that security was denied to Gogamedi despite several threats on him and despite the inputs of the Punjab police and several warnings as well. Though it's important to point out here that the former Chief Minister and the DGP have not been named as accused in the FIR, but this, as several Rajput organizations organized protests across Rajasthan, they had also called for a bandh, though they've withdrawn their demand now, and they've written to the governor asking for an NIA probe into the murder case. And now to more political news. Well, this involves Rajasthan as well. Marathon meetings in the national capital, as the big question now is who will be the chief minister as far as the three Hindi heartland states are concerned, where the BJP has swept the polls. Well, as far as Rajasthan is concerned, Vasundhara Raje is here in the national capital and she is expected to meet the top leadership. In fact, she's sought time with the Home Minister and the BJP President, JP Nadda. These are visuals of Vasundhara Raje arriving in Delhi late last night. In fact, in a parallel development, Narendra Singh Tomar has also met Union Home Minister Amit Shah. This is multiple factors are now being considered as far as the Rajasthan Chief Minister is concerned. Of course, the BJP is mulling over fresh faces to be sworn in as Chief Ministers, but Vasundhara Raje and the Vasundhara factor is something that the BJP cannot be ignored. Of course, several names now coming up as well, including Gajendra Singh Shekhawat, Union Minister, and also Baba Balaknath, who has been in Delhi as well. Now, apart from this, as far as other states are concerned, several parallel meetings are happening in Delhi as well. And in fact, speaking of meetings, the BJP also held its parliamentary party meet today, in fact earlier today in the morning, and this comes after the BJP's emphatic victory in the three states of the Hindi heartland. There you can see the Prime Minister arriving for the BJP parliamentary party meet. In fact, he received a rather rousing welcome by the MPs, BJP MPs both from Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. In fact, what did the Prime Minister actually say? Well, he asked MPs not to get complacent and focus on the upcoming elections. He also talked about various welfare schemes and how the MPs must take the welfare schemes to the people. He talked about the Vishwakarma Yojana, and that in the larger context of the BJP's welfare and OBC push.
Multiple times our strength has improved, along with Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh, where we have won with a comfortable margin. At the same time, Bharatiya Janata Party has improved its strength in Mizoram and Telangana also in many folds. Telangana और Chhattisgarh में भी तेलंगाना और मिजोरम में भी हमारा बल वृद्धि हुआ, बहुत बड़ी मात्रा में वृद्धि हुआ है और 3 राज्यों में हमने सरकार हमारे लोगों ने चुन चुका है और सरकार बनाया जा रहा है.
All right, Vasudha Venugopal is now joining us live on the phone line. So, Vasudha, while of course the big focus right now is on who will be the chief minister as far as these states are concerned, but in this parliamentary party meeting, the Prime Minister talked about very interestingly of how the MPs must not get complacent and they should focus on the upcoming elections and also taking welfare schemes to the people. That seems to be the BJP's big focus. The Prime Minister talking about the Vishwakarma Yojana and all these welfare schemes. So, welfareism is certainly going to be a huge political plank for the BJP going ahead as well.
Absolutely, Vedant. And, I'm coming to you from the parliament. And, in the parliament, the impact of this emphatic victories of the BJP is so evident that there's been a series of meetings that Home Minister Amit Shah has been having with state leaders. We saw Narendra Singh Tomar walk into his cabin. There was a meeting. And, of course, then Gajendra Shekhawat. Yesterday, there was a 4-hour-long meeting that JP Nadda, the BJP president, did with general secretaries. And in that meeting, he has clearly asked them to also take the message of Ram Mandir forward because Ram Temple, that's going to be inaugurated on the 22nd of January is a matter of faith, and it is also seen as something that the BJP has delivered on. Today, the Prime Minister's address in the parliamentary meet comes in the backdrop of these victories, and it's funny that he also had to tell them that Modi ji ki jai nahi, Modi ki jai. Like, don't make me stand on a pedestal. I'm a common man, and so clearly he was in charge of the campaign. He had all the control buttons, and that is very evident in the way he was also welcomed in the parliamentary meet today because there's a standing ovation. And there was constant sloganeering and cheering for the Prime Minister that happened. And in that meeting, he clearly, told MPs not to get complacent and also told them to reach out to every section of the society, ask them and to saturate the beneficiaries of every scheme so that every beneficiary, every person in the country knows that a certain scheme is being provided by the centre and in some respects not by state because, even state governments are competing with welfare schemes right now. The Prime Minister clearly said the voter is the ultimate decider of a politician's destiny. So in some ways telling them that this is not the time to celebrate victories because there are just 4 months left for the big Lok Sabha polls and you have to get on the ground and, reach out to people. So that is what he has said. But of course, there are many meetings happening. The impact of the victory is clearly seen not just in the parliament session but also in the parliamentary meet that the BJP
Right, Vasudha, thanks so much for joining us with all those details. So, well, it's evident that BJP is perhaps what many call an election machine. They're on to the next task, which is the general elections. We'll take a short break now. News continues on the other side.
And there's too much talking but very little being said. Too many voices but hardly any being heard. You turn to a show that puts you front and center. A show that headlines the stories of the people, by the people, for the people.
How often have you turned away from debates that descend into endless fights? We bring you a show where every question is answered, where every debate finds its resolution, where every story finds its conclusion, where opinions collide but facts prevail, where stories unfold with insights and trust. When the noise ends, the last word begins.
A debate has many facets, perhaps no one right answer. Left, right and center. Conversations that get to the core of the debate.
Business news can sound incomprehensible, unnerving, unrelatable. But how does it impact you? We deconstruct complex business news and ideas by talking directly to the leaders who shape the economy.
Well, Welcome back. A big focus on NDTV. Well, the aftermath of cyclone Mikjom, and those are the massive floods in Chennai. In the latest, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh is in Chennai. In fact, he conducted an aerial survey as well. He's likely to visit flood-affected areas as well in Chennai. This is 17 people have died in Chennai in the past 5 days because of the unprecedented floods. In fact, there's no power in several parts of Chennai. Even after 4 days of constant power cuts, only 85% power has been restored. There's waist-deep water in several low-lying areas. Cars and entire houses have been submerged in parts of Chennai. How are residents of Chennai actually coping with it? Sam Daniel sends us this ground report.
After cyclone Mikjom left Chennai coast after triggering unprecedented rainfall up to 44 centimeters in 36 hours across Chennai, several low-lying pockets are still heavily inundated. We come to you from the Guberan Nagar at Madipakam, another low-lying pocket in Chennai, where people still wade through knee-deep waters. Yesterday it was almost waist-deep, a little above, but today some waters have receded. And today there is also supply of relief in terms of bread, food items and drinking water to help the communities here. With me, a few residents. Let's get a sense of what they went through over the last 3 days.
It was terrible. I mean, we didn't expect this to happen. In fact, yesterday, it was when we went out, it was up to the neck level. Sam was saying it was up to chest level. It was up to neck level, and some people were actually swimming. But what's actually disappointing is we have not seen one politician out here. There's an IAS officer here, but there's not a single politician from any Karaveshti has not landed up here. Whether it's DMK...
Tell me about what you went through.
See, it was very tough. One is the entire, this water mixed along with the sump water. And the sump water, we can't pump it up anymore because there is no electricity. So the entire night, there's already a mosquito infested area. So the entire night, we were going through severe mosquito bites, no power, no internet for quite some time. And we had to every time go to the terrace to even get.
In terms of food, in terms of water, what did you go through?
We had to go out in this water only. We don't get it anything. That too inside nobody comes. Only here they come and distribute it. That's it.
How would you compare the 2015 floods and 2023?
Sorry, 2015 I wasn't here.
How would you compare?
Yeah, I told you that 2015 I constructed the house. That time the water levels I saw. So what I did was I raised 1 feet and constructed. But today, this time, 1 feet of water has come into my house. So it means about 2 feet has risen from those. But those days, the water receded within a couple of days. Right. This time it's taking time because of mindless constructions of IT companies and other parks and all that.
We also have Mr. Dinesh Oliver, a senior bureaucrat. Thank you very much, sir, for your time. Disappointment among public. They say officials didn't come earlier. What's being done now in terms of relief, and realistically speaking, when do you think there could be substantial improvement, especially for the restoration of power supply?
Yeah, all the steps are being taken up. Of course, public have been put to severe discomfort because of this unprecedented rainfall and heavy flooding. For the past 2 days, we have been camping here. We have been mobilizing the required food materials, right, especially water, bread, and some different food packets also. And there are areas which we could reach easily. There are areas which takes time to reach us. But we have been working hard for the past 2-3 days, and Government of Tamil Nadu have appointed a lot of IAS officers to work in the field. We, along with the police, have been working with the people. Mainly we focus on the rescue of the aged and the sick. They'll be ferried through the boats to the safe places. Further, the availability of the food is being ensured. Right now we have been traversing through the waters only, so all steps are being taken up. Once water starts receding, Tangetco, there is the electricity providing entity, right, they have mobilized a lot of people from other districts also. Yeah, right. Other districts also, a lot of people have been mobilized, so it's a massive work is in their hands.
Any particular reason for the initial delay?
No, actually from day one we have been put into work. So first day was very difficult for us because of accessibility. The rainfall was there continuously for the whole day. Next morning we have been able to mobilize men and material, and from that we have been working continuously in this area.
Thank you so much for your time. And even as we speak now, relief teams are in this area supplying breads, milk and water. We also have the secretary of this association. If I can talk to you, sir. Yes, very briefly, many of these pockets, including Velicheri, they also were earlier water bodies. Do you think that's a major reason in terms of encroaching water bodies which has led to this kind of situation?
I don't think so, sir. It's the bad planning of infrastructure that is creating all this havoc, because government is the one who is giving permission for constructing all these things, right? So they should have taken care of all these things earlier itself. But however, there is not much of preparedness, because they said there will be maybe from IMD as well. They said maybe 25 centimeters of rain is expected, but finally we got 40. But they should have planned for 40. Even if it's less, we should be able to. The planning is the major issue. I don't see any architects or somebody coming from the CMDA who is coming and visiting these places, and based on that they should plan, right? They're not doing that. We don't see any government official right now, during the time of distress or during planning. It's all in the papers. Nothing is, on the ground.
Thank you so much. And anger and disappointment among communities in low-lying pockets as they still wade through knee-deep waters on the third day after Cyclone Migjom left the coast. Authorities argue they've done their best, and it's the stormwater drains the government had built has saved the city from disaster. They say relief work is now in full swing. They've also roped in NGOs and volunteers to join hands with relief efforts. At Madipakam with Suresh, Sam Daniel, for NDTV.
This show isn't just about news from the southern states. It's one that looks at the rest of India and the world from a diverse South India point of view, because NDTV has always taken the southern view seriously.
The Southern View with Veera Raghav, only on NDTV 24/7.
Welcome to Serious Business on NDTV.
$1 has only secured 0.6 cents of private capital. That needs to fundamentally change.
By mid-century, India's economy will grow eightfold.
One topic.
When a family comes out of the poverty line, what would be the first asset class they would buy? It's gold.
One speaker.
It's the biggest attack on Jews since the Holocaust.
If you want to control inflation, you need to play the trade policy.
UPI, Aadhaar, all of that, where India is well ahead of the West.
5 trillion is a short-term goal. I would like to see India becoming a $30 trillion economy.
How often have you turned away from debates that descend into endless fights? We bring you a show where every question is answered.
Good afternoon. Let's begin with the international headlines. 4 Republican presidential candidates clashed repeatedly on Wednesday night at the final debate of the year and the last showdown before the crucial Iowa caucuses next month in the US. The candidates were given several opportunities to criticize former President Donald Trump, who chose to skip the debate once again and attended closed-door fundraiser instead. But only former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie repeatedly took swipes at Donald Trump, calling him unfit and the biggest issue of the Republican race. For the most part, however, the candidates targeted each other, with former United Nations Ambassador Nikki Haley taking the brunt of the attacks as she gets more interest from donors and voters. Listen in.
When she was governor of South Carolina, she was the #1 ranked governor of bringing the CCP into her state. She wrote a love letter to the Chinese ambassador saying how great a friend China is. You can look at it. We put it on our website, rondesantis.com. Her donors, these Wall Street liberal donors, they make money in China. They are not going to let her be tough on China, and she will cave to the donors. She will not stand up for you.
First of all, he's mad because those Wall Street donors